Hello, 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 hello. Hello, I just completely forgot to mute my mic. To unmute my mic. Welcome. Another day, another stream. And yeah, today we're going to do something interesting. Or something, hopefully interesting for you. Interesting for me as well. We will go over the most searched questions about Blender. First of all, of course, the first part of the stream will be the 30-minute quick sketch. And then afterwards, we'll go over the most searched questions, the most Googled questions. I think overall the most searched questions about Blender, and we'll answer them. Hopefully you can learn something new today. Hopefully you can, maybe just learn with me. We'll go maybe over a few that I don't really know either. But I think, like, I've looked through them already. I think most of them are pretty simple, I guess. So yeah, maybe if you're a beginner, maybe you can get something out of it as well. Maybe you're on a fence whether or not you should learn Blender. Maybe you wanna, I don't know, you just want to know about Blender overall. Maybe you've just heard about it and then you found this video. Doesn't matter who you are, there's probably something that you can learn in this stream or video if you watch it later. So first of all, of course, the first part of the stream will be the 30-minute quick sketch, meaning we'll go over to Blender. We're gonna probably spend like the first hour, maybe hour and probably like 40 to 50 minutes on this quick sketch, meaning we're gonna go and do a 30-minute quick sketch, and then afterwards we'll do a little bit of post-processing, and then we're gonna upload it. I upload it, not we. I'll upload it while you watch a quick compilation of the last 2 months, and then once that's done, we're gonna go to the questions. I'm not quite sure how long the stream's gonna be today. Maybe that's why I put 50 plus questions in the thumbnail on YouTube. I don't really know how long it's gonna take to go through all of them. I'll try to answer them as I guess elaborate as possible, so everybody kind of, can understand it, or learn something new. Maybe I'll try to explain it as coherent as possible and also as I guess expansive as possible. I don't want to blabber too much, but I want to put as much info in here as possible. So if you see this later, there should be timestamps. What I'll try is, for the future, is I'll try to put them in the description right after I'm done streaming. This way, if you watch it like in the, so previously it was like if you watch it in the time frame between the like last stream and then the next stream, somewhere in between there, or like 24 hours earlier, usually there weren't any timestamps. That's what I want to change, because I think the timestamps, especially in these streams, can be very helpful. Maybe I'll sometimes I guess convert or like make a video for my video channel out of these streams as well, to make them more, I guess, more compact, for anybody that likes more like video format, I guess, content. That's why I do that. I don't really know if I'm going to do it with this one, but yeah, we'll see. So I would say I don't want to waste any time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. So let's go and get to the next point. Let's go to Blender. Blender's almost open, and there you go. Easy. Okay, let's expand the view. There you go. Perfect. Okay, so first of all, of course, we do the quick sketch. Actually, I haven't really had any time yet just to look at some inspiration, so we're going to do that real quick. Shouldn't take too long. I have my folder with all the pins on Pinterest that interested me. I have my environment. Oh no, I actually had one. I don't really know how doable it is though, because it's pretty elaborate. You know, I think it could work. Yeah, I think I have an idea. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I transformed it in my head a little bit, so it's a little bit, I guess, less time consuming. Of course, if you do like a 30-minute, if you only have time 30-minute time to model something, it can be quite hard to get like all that you want in the image. Oh, so yeah. That's why you kind of oftentimes you have to reduce your ideas, because otherwise you're not going to get there. And then you have like a half empty image. Usually they're like empty anyway, or like empty, but like there's something missing just because it's like 30 minutes. You can't really put everything in there. And then if you have to model, it takes like a long time. So yeah, I either work with models that I've done before, or I try to make pretty simple models, just like a general layout that can still, I guess, get the idea across to not waste any time. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today as well. What do I need for this? I need, first of all, I need a folder for my new quick sketch. We're at quick sketch number 114. So let's go into the quick sketch folder. We're going to make a new folder. There you go. Okay, perfect. Everything's ready. We need Roberto as well. So let me just quickly pull up Roberto and then we can start. Oh, we have to make a new folder, of course. We're almost there. We're almost there. And then we can start. And then we can go right into the questions. I have this handy website where they kind of like browse through maybe even multiple search engines and like collect the most searched ones. So you don't have to do like you don't have to type it into Google or whatever to find it. You can just go onto that website and yeah, make your research there, or the research gets done there for you. So you don't even have to do that much. Yeah, there you go. Oh, resources, and there is my base mesh. The base mesh we're going to use tomorrow as well, a little bit more, I guess, elaborate for like a long-term project. But we're going to do that tomorrow. I'm not gonna spoil anything. If you want to see what we're gonna do with it tomorrow, you can look at the schedule video that I uploaded. There you should at least find like a quick outline on what we're gonna do tomorrow and then the next day as well. So let's pull up my male human base mesh, also called Roberto. I am ready. Hopefully you are ready. The timer is ready. So I would say everybody's ready to start this quick sketch. So yeah, let's go. Hold on, where's my timer? There you go. Okay, so 30-minute quick sketch in 3. Oh, hold on, I have to hit record so I can make a video out of it tomorrow. There you go. Perfect. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So first of all, we need two walls. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna need 2 walls. We're gonna grab this one. We need more subdivisions. So we need a subdivision modifier. We set it to simple. We're gonna increase the viewport maybe to 6. I think 6 is pretty good. And then we apply it. We go into the plane. We select the middle vertice, and I want to make like a round shape out of this. So what do we need is you know what? Nope, I'm gonna use a cylinder. Nope, not a cylinder, a sphere. There you go. I was getting confused there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it slimmer. Welcome back, Vicente. Hope you and your cats had a great day. Your old homies, if they're male, I don't know. Oh, can you not hear the music? Wait, why can you not? Oh, hold on, I have to, I guess, change it. Maybe my sounds changed. Oh, wrong setting. Oh, both female. Oh, okay, well then probably not your homies. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Oh, I mean, yeah, hold on. I'm gonna speed run this real quick so I can go back to the oh. weird. Hold on. Why can you not hear the music? Can I add a audio source? Okay, I'm gonna restart the gonna do some fixing here, and then we can restart. So what do we have here? Let's use this one, should we? So what do we have here? We have hold on. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Is it this one? Nope. Maybe? Hold on. All these technical problems here. Oh, hold on, it's there, isn't it? No, it's not. Okay, hold on. Well, I've added this one. Properties, not default. Ah, there it is. I think that should fix it. That should bring you some music, give you some music. Hold on, I'm gonna pause it to test. Yep, perfect. Okay, now we should have some music. Perfect. Now the music is even, I guess, split from the... Oh no, it's not. Well, never mind. Okay. At least we have some music now. Okay, so let's go back to this. Let's do the quick sketch again. So now they can hear some music, so that's quiet. So let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. So first of all, we need a sphere. There you go. We're gonna make it flatter like this. We're gonna need some subdivisions as well, just to make it a little bit smoother. That's pretty good. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna grab this. We will duplicate it. There you go. We have 2. We're gonna make this a little bit wider, not too wide. We're gonna pull this over here. So first of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. So this will be like one wall, and we have the other one on the other side. So we're gonna make this one bigger as well. This one has to be a little bit further away though. So, okay, that's the first wall. We're gonna set it to smooth. And then what I also need is another object, just so we can use a Boolean modifier. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a cube. There you go. We'll bevel these edges right here, like that, so that they're round. Perfect. There you go. We're gonna pull this one up, this face. There you go. We're gonna make this... Oh, actually, should we make it bigger? No, we're gonna make it smaller, actually. There you go. We're gonna pull it over here somewhere, roughly over there. That's pretty good. We're gonna go into the modifiers for the sphere. We're gonna use the Boolean modifier. Select a object. Oh, wrong object. We have to select this object, of course. And we have this weird shading, but that's okay. We're gonna set this to wire so we can see through. And there you go. Now we cut into the sphere. Push it into there more. Perfect. Okay. So next up, what we need is another cube. Let's grab the cube. Let's give it a... Should we give it subdivision? Yeah, let's give it subdivision. Maybe 3. 3 is pretty good. Set it to smooth. We then scale it, make it slimmer. We also want to use a edge loop right there, put it right there to the end, so there's like round like this. We're going to use another edge loop, put it all the way up here, so we have this nice balcony. We're going to move it here and install the balcony right where the exit, or I guess, yeah, the entrance to the balcony is. Oh yeah. No more Sharingan. My new lamp arrived. It's actually pretty bright, and you can do a few changes. You can dim it, and it has this this cable-like arm that you can just, so you can put the camera wherever you want. I've just attached it with this clamp to my monitor, so I can move it wherever I need it. Okay, so actually this is too big, so I'm gonna make this smaller. Ooh. Oh, okay, well, I guess we have to add more subdivisions for that. So let's add maybe, well, it's quite intense. 4. Yeah, it's almost facing, like, almost coming from directly in front of me. I think that makes my face a little bit more, I guess, gives it more depth, because if it comes from this side, you can, like, everything is like bright. When it comes from the front, you have like a little bit of shadow here, and then the bright spot on the left. I think that gives yeah, just provides a little bit more depth. Oh, okay, apparently that was too much. Great. Quick sketches with lagging, it's always the best. Please. Okay, thank you. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna make this smaller, maybe like that. We don't really see the entrance anyway, so we just need the balcony like this. Okay, so I can make it like dimmer. Hold on. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, wrong direction, like that. Maybe that's a little bit too. That's the middle ground. I think that's what I had before, though. Maybe like that, or yeah. I think that's better. Okay. So, oh, I can actually like just hide. No, I cannot. Go in here and hide the Boolean modifier, so we can use or move this without any problems. There you go. Let's bring it back. There you go. Oh, takes a while to load. Please don't freeze and crash. Oh, there you go. Okay. There you go. Okay, so let's add a few more things. We first of all need to add. I mean, the other light has always been this bright. I think it's just, it wasn't just as apparent. Hold on. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that works as well. Maybe we can make this brighter now. There you go. Is that better? Maybe just like this. Let's keep it like this. A little bit cozy. Okay, so let's use another cylinder. Zip. There you go. Remove these faces, so this one up here as well. My red shirt, what do you mean? Why did I promise you to wear a red shirt? There you go. Use a what is it? The oh god, it's a wireframe. There you go. Do you mean, is that like another Naruto meme? Or why the red shirt? I can remember, I think we talked about a red shirt, but I can't remember in what context. Okay, there you go. So let's import Roberto. We have 23 minutes left. We lost quite a lot of time, but that's okay. Oh, I don't want to open a link. I mean, append. There you go. Collection. What do we have here? Male human base mesh. There you go. Where is he? There he is. The giant between the two walls. Remove it and grab him. Before we do that though, I want to purge him of all this lag. So let's go in here and remove some of his teeth and his tongue and his gum. That causes quite a lot of lag. His eyes can also be, I guess, reduced in geometry, and now everything's very, very smooth. Very nice. Oh, we have to reduce the viewport level as well, and then woo, perfectly smooth. Pull it up here, make him smaller so it fits onto this balcony. Oh, did I? Okay, I can't remember. Must probably been like a week ago or so. I don't know. Okay, put it right there. I think the railing is a little bit too short. Let's make it higher. There you go. We're gonna grab his butt or his entire back. He's gonna lean forward a little bit like that. Okay, we're gonna pull his foot back a little bit. We're gonna keep the other one pretty right there, probably. Perfect. We're gonna use his hands so he can, I guess, balance himself on the railing itself. There you go. A little bit closer though. We need to change the elbow as well. Nice rigging commentary here. Okay, grab the other one. The pose doesn't have to be perfect, it's just a quick sketch, so not trying to make it like movie-like or whatever. If I would have wanted to do that, I would have spent more time on it, but we don't have the time, so we're not gonna do it. Okay, perfect. He's gonna look down there. We have 20 minutes left. Let's go and save this file real quick. Quick sketch day 114. Oh, 114. Okay, so let's do some more modeling. We have the other side of the wall. Before I do that though, I want to change my camera. The camera is way too big first of all, so we can scale it down. There you go. We want to see the camera view. There you go. We also have to pose it now. Let's grab the focus, put it somewhere else first. Oh, where's my focus? There it is. Okay, so the camera is supposed to be like on head level roughly. Please just... Oh, dude, I accidentally moved this cage and now it's lagging again. Please. Can I move now? No, I can't. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna make it unselectable so that doesn't happen again. Oh, I should probably do that with this one as well. There you go. Okay, so on head level, roughly there. Maybe a little bit higher, but we'll see. We should probably change the focus point to a little bit more over there. Okay, first of all, we need to change the focal length though, so to see more of this environment. There you go. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I kind of want to see more of this other wall though. Maybe we could move this one over here a little bit like that. Yeah, that's pretty good. We're gonna move this wall closer. There you go. Okay, so let's save this real quick, and then we're gonna add some more stuff. First of all, what I want to add is I want to make this longer, so I'm gonna scale it up like that. There you go. We could also bring a little bit more into the background. What about some cylinders? Where's the cylinder? There it is. Make it smooth. Maybe even give it a subdivision modifier, make it longer. There you go. Looking pretty nice. Next up, let's add like actual, I guess, something interesting into the scene after almost 15 minutes. First of all, I need a ship. So let's make a quick ship. Should be too hard. There you go. We need a cabinet in the front. There you go. We're going to pull this forward. Oh. We're going to pull it down as well. Maybe make it even slimmer. There you go. We need 2 turbines, so we're going to add them, of course, in here, maybe. There you go. Scale it down. Oh, hello. Oh, what about... There you go. Scale it down. Put it on the ship. Right there. Maybe up here, actually. There you go. Mirror to the other side, so we have 2. Perfect. We then need maybe some sort of grappling hook. So we need... What could we use? Probably a cube. Oh, not a cylinder. Hold on. Please remove the vertices. I'm going to use a plane, actually. We're going to move it over here. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up perfectly with this one. On the line tools. There you go. Do some modeling now. We're going to make it slimmer in this direction first. Move it over here. Make it slimmer in the other one direction, in this direction as well. Move it back. Over here. Like that. Then we're going to grab this edge right there. Move it down. Extrude it. Oh, hold on. Extrude without the x-axis. And extrude one more without the x-axis, like that. Okay, perfect. So now we can use a mirror modifier on this object to have 4 more grappling hooks. Mirror X and Y. There you go. I want to move them a little bit further apart, like that. Then we need another modifier, which is the solidify modifier. We're going to increase its thickness. Perfect. Look at that. Okay, so maybe we could also add a few windows here. Invert individually. There you go. Extrude along normals. Out, I mean in. There you go. Perfect. So let's add a box to the ship. Let's add a cube. There you go. Move it down. Make it smaller. There you go. Make it longer. And there you go. Okay, so we need to parent this to this thing. Oh no, yeah, we could probably also just apply everything and then parent it. Parent to, not parent, hold on, I want to join it. Join, there you go. Now everything is the same object and we can place this. Before I do that though, oh no, you know what, I'm gonna place it first. Make it quite big. Actually, how big is he? Okay, we can make it a little bit smaller like this. Okay, so those are a few carriers. We also need a few, I guess, tubes where they come out of. So we're going to make a cube, make a few. There you go. We're going to move it down. We will need a subdivision modifier. We'll invert this face. We'll extrude it down. And there we have a nice tube where they can come out of. Look at that. Oh, we make it completely flat on the other side here. There you go. Make it smooth, and there you go. Let's place them all over this surface. Let's hide this real quick. One right there, maybe one over here as well. Oh, hello, can you, okay. Right there. Okay, perfect. Maybe one more. Should we? We can put more on the other side. Oh, hello, Arcticolas. Welcome. Hope you enjoyed your day so far. We're doing a quick sketch before we start with today's topic. We have 30 minutes left before we go into post-processing, and yeah, until we're done. Rotate it by 180 degrees. There you go. Make it smaller. Okay, let's see where we can place it. Let's make one like super big on this side. Oh, maybe like this. Oh, not like this, like that. And then we can move it over here, kind of cut off by the view of the camera. Yeah, okay, and then we're gonna need a few more. So I'm gonna actually duplicate the other one on the other side, rotate it by 180 degrees. There you go. Move maybe one up there. And then we need one more over here. Maybe a little bit smaller. There you go. Okay, well, let's add one more. You know what? Now I'm gonna add one more object to the scene. Before we do that though, I'm gonna go ahead and add some carriers now. So we're gonna grab them. I'm gonna duplicate them. We're gonna place them somewhere over here. You know what? I'm gonna go into wireframe so I can see better where I am. Otherwise, I'm always gonna be blocked by either side of this building. Okay. Place a few of these, maybe one few that are smaller, maybe a few that are bigger, maybe even a few that are close together, just to make it appear random. There you go. Perfect. Okay. Let's add a few more. Let's just add them over here. There's one. There's one. And then one more back here. Okay. So we have quite a few models now. Though what I want to do is I want to bring in a sky. So we're going to go into the world settings and color. Put that into the color. Yeah. Let's use the HRI for lighting as well. Do I have some sort of mountain area or like mountain? I don't really. Oh. Maybe this one. I could also. Oh, I could use clouds. Hold on, I'm going to use clouds. So let me just quickly find them. Maybe I can find them real quick. I don't really know where exactly I have them. Let's see. I don't really remember which quick stitch this was, but I think we have my... Nope, hold on, I have to find it. That's the worst part about using stuff from my quick sketches. It takes quite a while to find it. But I think if we use clouds for this piece, I think it's better. Rather than using like a sky texture. Oh, this one. 40. There you go. Append. Come on. Don't be so slow, collection. And what do we have here? Geometry. There you go. There you go. Perfect. We have some nice clouds. Oh, we actually only have clouds. That's perfect. We don't need the U2. Is that only the cloud? It is. Perfect. So let's see what it looks like in rendered view. Oh. Perfect. We see nothing because we have no lighting. So let's pull up some sort of HDRI, I guess. Maybe this one. Wait. Oh, I know why we don't see anything. We have to hide this. Where's... Oh, I can't select it because it's unselectable. There you go. Wait, it's the wrong one. Oh, you know. Oh, this one. There you go. Ah. Oh, very nice house in the background. That doesn't really fit. Let's rotate it. Wait, I want to adjust the clouds first. We could maybe even fill the whole thing with clouds, so we maybe don't even need any background. Let's set the absorption color to white. There you go. Do we see the clouds? Yeah, we do. Let's go in this viewport into rendered view as well, just so we can see them better and kind of rotate around. Okay, that's pretty good. We need another one, so let's grab it, make it bigger. We could also... Oh, we could just make a new cube. There you go. Let's link the material so we have a nice small cube cloud. We can add a few subdivisions, and then we can shape it into whatever shape we need to. Actually, no, I'm gonna just grab this one and duplicate it and move it somewhere. Oh. Please, don't lag. Yeah, I'm just gonna put in a few layers of clouds. I think that should be enough. Good enough. There you go. Okay, let's change the HDRI. It's still visible, and I don't want to have this weird the house in the background. So by rotating it a little bit, we should find a good, nice sky. We could also use like the other one that I usually. Oh, actually, this one looks pretty cool. Actually, we have still a little bit of background there. Maybe if we, or like a horizon line there. Maybe if we rotate it, we can kind of hide it a little bit. Oh, that's pretty good. We could move it a little bit further down. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's save it real quick. We can also make it darker, so it's more like a night scene. Oh, we could actually use another, this one. Although this one's very, very bright. I don't know why it's so bright. It's like a night scene, but it's so ultra bright. Let's go back to this one. We can maybe reduce just the strength. Let's set it to 1. No, to 0.1. Let's see. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like this. Okay, so let's add some lights. So first of all, what I need is a normal point light. We're going to put that somewhere where it's going to make sense. For example, over here. Over here. Let's reduce the radius. There you go. I like it, like giving him a nice outline on the side, or we could also put it on this side. I think that's better. It kind of suggests that there's something, I guess, something, yeah, like a window or like a living room where he's coming out of. Let's change the color to saturation 0. There you go. No saturation. Today, let's add a few more lights. So what we can do with this one is actually, we can just add a few more cuts right here. For example, over there, maybe add this cut right there. We then go ahead and add a few more over here, maybe one right there, one right there, and also one over here. We can then grab these faces, the same on the other side. We go over to the shader select. We add 2 shaders. We assign the selection to the second one. We make a new shader. Go to the object. 4 minutes left. Perfect. Remove it. Go to the shader emission. Bring that in. Put that in. And they go. Now they should glow, I think. Maybe they're too weak. Hold on. Yeah, they glow. Let's increase the strength. Maybe to 10. Maybe to 30. Okay, they're still too weak. What about 100? What about 500? That's better. I like it. Can we now... I wonder if we can copy these face settings as well. Let's see. If I select this one and then the other one, link object data. Oh, hello. Okay, perfect. So we can just copy these settings to all the other ones as well. Very easy, very simple, very effective. There you go. Let's add a few more lights. What about a light rod cylinder? Give it a emission shader. Do we already have one? Yeah, we do. There you go. This is still too bright though. I'm gonna separate this and set it maybe to 100. Otherwise it's very, very strong, and I think it's just gonna overtake the image. Move one over there. Maybe we can move one over here as well, just to add a little bit of like light to the scene to make it like less bland. Okay, maybe also one to this side, so we can kind of light up this side as well. There you go. I'm gonna reduce the strength even more, maybe to 50. Maybe even to 25. I wonder why the other ones are so weak. Maybe because the faces are so small. That's probably it. Okay. Let's bring a few bridges. So what I want to do is I want to bring in, I guess, just a cube. We're gonna make it flatter. There you go. We're gonna make it slimmer as well, and we're gonna make it longer. Nice bridges there. Make it a little bit slimmer, even slimmer. There you go. Okay, let's pose it, or let's place it here somewhere, kind of to suggest that this is more like a trading district, for example. Trading between two two houses that are like right next to each other. Trying to fill this up, make it more dense. That's the goal right there. Maybe even like a few halfway bridges just to give it a little bit more variety. There you go. Actually, I think I need a little bit more light though. So we could actually bring in light from the bottom. I wonder what that looks like. So let's use a... Wait, I'm in edit mode. Let's use a point light. Put it all the way underneath the clouds so you can just see what it looks like. What about increasing the power to 1000? Oh. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, because then it kind of suggests that there's more underneath the clouds. But I think it's too bright, so I'm going to reduce the strength maybe to 500. That could be already enough. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Okay. Should we use a volume cube? I mean, we could try in the last 30 seconds. Let's see. There you go. Bring it in. We need less density. What about 0.01? Okay. Maybe a little bit higher. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I think it helps a little bit. We could maybe increase it even more, but then it kind of gets too much probably. Yeah, that's too much. Let's set it to 225. I think that's a good compromise. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's do the first render for post-processing. There you go. Perfect. There's a lot of noise in the image, but maybe we can, maybe the denoiser comes in clutch, or it's just gonna look very, very, I guess, wobbly. We'll see. Oh, switch that view. Oh, wrong view. Oh, wrong view. There you go. And render. Okay. The stress is over. Oh, hello. We need to hide. What is it? The cube in the rendered view as well. There you go. Let's try again. There you go. Okay. Yeah, today we're gonna be a little bit more informal. Or not, why do I always say informal? Like a little bit more informative, I guess. We're gonna go over the most asked Blender questions. So there's a website that shows you all the I guess, yeah, most asked Blender questions. If you just type in like a keyword, it gives you like all the most asked questions with that keyword in there. Meaning, for example, if you type in like pi, it says like, what is pi? What can you make pi out of, or all that stuff. So we're going to use that website to answer a few questions to get a little bit more, I guess. I want to make like a more informative video. Oh, he has a nice butt hanging out there. He has a weird pose, but that's okay. I don't think that's really important here. Okay. The clouds look kind of weird because they're so I guess so small. Maybe we'll at some point do some like a more advanced cloud shader that we could use for yeah, just for all the quick sketches, because it's kind of hard to set them up like very quickly. So having like good material for clouds would be very helpful. Okay, let's do some processing. Glare node, that's probably all we need. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's see how much it just brings the scene to life. By adding the glare node, we get this nice glow around all these ships. Maybe we could increase actually the glare threshold, maybe to 2. Just to reduce. Oh well, 2 doesn't do much. What about 5? I think we've set it so high that it doesn't really, that the value for these lights is so high that we have to do like absurd thresholds. 100? Ah, there you go. Okay, maybe 50? Let's set it to 25. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's it for Blender's post-processing. Let's do the final render and then we can go into Photoshop. $256 should be enough. Render. Let's see how long it's going to take. Four minutes 47. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, we're gonna. So as far as I've seen, I've gone through the questions a little bit just to kind of oversee them and kind of see if there are any. I mean, that I maybe have some questions myself. They're pretty simple, so they're very good for beginners. For example, if somebody wants to learn a little bit more about Blender and they haven't really looked into it too much, or they just learned about Blender, they want to learn more. I want to kind of provide some sort of, I guess, source to answer all these questions. So putting in all the timestamps in the description will probably take a while, but that's okay. Hold on, can I? Oh, I could actually just grab the ones from the live feed for the timestamp. I could do that, maybe. Then I at least don't have to watch through the whole stream to find each individual question. That might be better than, yeah, just watching it all the way through. Yeah, the clouds, you can see, especially up here, the cloud has this very sharp cut right there and down here as well. So I think, yeah, you can definitely change the shader so that it's more fluffy, less rigid. But yeah, I mean, this cloud shader wasn't really set up to be used for this purpose, but at least it adds a little bit more atmosphere to the scene, and that's all I wanted. I wonder if that works, or if that. Hold on, I wanna actually look that up. So for YouTube, if you want to add timestamps, you have to type the time in the description, so you can't just like hit a key or whatever and record it. What I could do, maybe, well, it wouldn't work for this stream, but maybe there's some sort of like a timer where you, or like a software that works like a timer, where I can just hit a key and it creates a what is it, like a timestamp. I think that is like even how you use stopwatches on your phone, for example, right? If you go to your clock and you go to stopwatch and you start, you can then say lap and it creates a timestamp. Oh, maybe we found a solution. So then I can just let this the stopwatch run, and I can just hit the lap key and I get the oh, can you? How do you do that? Maybe I can, I don't know. Okay, hold on, I want to see if that works in OBS, because if it works in OBS as well, that would be awesome. OBS timestamp. Oh, how to timestamp in OBS Studio. I don't want to name my file. I just want to I want to see the I want to have a tool to create timestamps. Okay, hold on. Do I have to do it in Twitch chat? Hold on, I'm gonna try. I'll try. Where's my chat? There it is. No, it's not. There it is. It is, what is it? Marker? Marker description as a stream marker to the current timestamp. Marker. Hold on, what? Test. Successfully added a stream marker at 5349. That could work. I mean, it would probably be easier to use my phone, just so I have it like ready and I don't have to type in anything, but then I still have to create a name. So maybe Twitch would be the best option for that. Maybe. Can I put that like... No, I can't. No, I can't. Pop out? Oh. Of course, I could just pop out the chat. Can I hide? Oh, I mean, close my Twitch thingy now? Oh, perfect. But now my marker is gone. Wait, let's try again. Ah, there you go. Yeah, it works. Okay. Oh, the render is done. Perfect. Let's save the file real quick, and then let's save the image. PNG called quick sketch day 114. Hold on, I'm gonna see. Video producer. I'm gonna look into that once we're done with the quick sketch. I don't wanna waste the quick sketch time. Let's see. So, oh, the image is already ready. So let's go to Photoshop. Hold on. Quick sketch. There you go. Pull it up. There you go. What is it? We need to go to Photoshop. There you go. So, first of all, what do we need? We need a selective color correction, maybe. Oh, you know what? I want to try another color look, like another LUT. Maybe we could spend some, or like save some time doing that. Maybe we get a nice look in here. Oh, this one's pretty cool. I like this one. I'm gonna keep it. The lights might be a little bit strong, but that's okay. Maybe we can reduce it to 50%. Just to kind of, yeah, make the lights not too strong so they overtake the image. I think that's pretty cool. I like the clouds down there, actually. They look pretty cool. But the background just looks weird. Okay. Let's go ahead and add... Oh no, you know what? I'm gonna try and add some contrast maybe. Let's see if that looks good or not. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Just add a little bit more depth to the scene. That's pretty good. Let's bring in the fingerprint texture. Where am I? Oh, I have two folders with, two windows with the same quick sketch folder open. There you go. Make it smaller. Oh, make it smaller, please. Oh, hold on. Did I render it in 50%? No, I didn't. Did I? I don't know. Now it's too late. You're not going to see it on social media anyway, so I'm going to not care about it now. You know what? I think 25% is okay as well. Just a little bit. It's just not supposed to overtake the image. I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and quick sketch day 140, 1920 by 1920. Yeah, perfect. PSD first. And then the JPEG. Stream. Nope, not this one. There you go. 114. There you go. Let's save it one more time. It goes pretty fast. I don't know why it's slow sometimes. Okay, perfect. Let's switch back to Blender. We actually don't need Blender for this one, but I'm gonna keep it like in this view for a second. Just so I can, I guess, set up all my windows. Oh, that's quite small. Okay. Wait, I don't need this window. There you go. Okay, so everything's done. I need to import it into my phone and then I can upload it. Once we have that, we can go into the questions. Before we do that, I want to see how I can extract these timestamps. Oh, import the file, JPEG. There you go. I actually have like 2 or 3 folders where all my Instagram uploads are. I think there's like, yeah, I think I deleted 2 of them because I think Instagram creates one by itself. So you have, every time you upload an image to Instagram, Instagram creates a folder with all the images that got uploaded and saves them there. I don't really know why, but it doesn't make any sense. Maybe because it saves them with the filter applied. That's probably why they save it. I don't really know why you would save it, but I guess that's the only reason I could really come up with. So I had like three folders. I think one of them just, I guess, got ignored at some point. Maybe I renamed it. And then yeah, it created another one which has all the images in it, which I deleted. Wait, did I? No, I think I still have it because it has like all the images that I ever had on Instagram. Also the ones that I think deleted or archived. I didn't want to lose them, so I just didn't delete them. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this compilation. I'm going to see you in 3 minutes, and then we're going to go into the Twitch timestamp thing, and then we're going to go into the questions. So I'm going to see you then. Have fun. There you go. Okay, so let's see. Let's bring back the music. There you go. So let's see. Hold on. No, that's not what I wanted. We're live. Where can I see the timestamps? Let's see. Over here, home? Nope, that's not the right one. Inside? Nope. What about, what is this? Roles manager and activity? Nope, that's not what I wanted. Content, maybe. Collections, clips, video producer. Oh, this one might be it. Incorporate all and your channel. Pro tip, hell yeah. Broadcasting, videos, upload past broadcast. That's kind of weird. Highlight? No, I don't want to make a highlight. There's let me just quickly pull it up. Twitch. Twitch timestamps. Linking to a timestamp in a Twitch broadcast. Nope. Oh, okay, interesting. Can you timestamp on Twitch? How do I turn on a timestamp on Twitch? How do you change the time on Twitch? If you're asking how to embed a video at a certain time, nope, that's not what I wanted. Creating highlights and stream markers. Well, I don't want to curate my past broadcast. I want to curate my current broadcast. Stream marker. Stream markers are a feature that you and your editors can use to timestamp sections of your live broadcast for the later highlighting. Oh, quick actions. Hold on. Where am I? I'm in the wrong folder. I mean, in the wrong, okay, there I am. So, what do I need? I need, I don't need, hold on, quick action. Like, okay, this is such a weird setup here. Okay, hold on. Activity follow, dude, this is such a weird setup. So how do I open it? Quick actions. If I make this bigger, there's no quick actions. Maybe I removed the window. Let's see. Pop out. No, I don't want to pop it out. Are there more? Oh, this one. Rename, create new. Stream manager, custom layout. Reset to default. Why not? Oh, there it is. Quick actions. Okay, start watch party. Nope, quick actions. Well, clip that. That doesn't work. Why is there no add stream marker key? Oh, edit stream info, stream health, mod actions. This one? Nope. Please. What do we have here? Edit stream info? No, that's not the one. Stream health, mod action, active mods. Hosting you. Oh, I can add more? No, I can't. Why can I not add more? That makes no sense. Dude, why is it so complicated to just add timestamps if the function exists? That is, what do you mean with on the video? You mean you're watching a video or? Oh, if you don't see the add stream marker quick action, click the plus button on the quick actions panel. Well, that is grayed out. Ooh, perfect. Dude. Oh no, is there something? Click on add stream marker action on the stream. You and your editors can use. Am I not like a admin? I'm like the owner, so that doesn't make sense. I mean, I can also just write them down, but that's kind of takes a while and it's kind of annoying. I don't want to, you know, spend a few seconds to write it down. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I was there already, but I can't do anything with it. Hold on. I'm in video producer. Oh no, I'm in stream manager. Hold on. Role manager. Nope. Video producer. Let's see. I can highlight. Add to. Highlights watch. Add to. No. Highlight watch. Yeah, I can watch my own stream, but that's not what I wanted. Add to watch. I can't open the VOD. I can just watch it. I can highlight stuff. Wait, no. I cannot, you know, it's great. Oh, I just can't click on it. That's the problem. So, add new highlight. Nope, I don't want to add a highlight. Yeah, I guess I just have to write it down. That's probably the easiest way to do it now for this stream. And then I'm just going to probably use either like a new software or just my phone. I guess the phone would be the easiest, would probably, you know, be a little bit chaotic, but that's okay. I mean, there's no past broadcast because the broadcast is live right now. You know? That's the problem. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna write it down. I don't want to spend ages on this. What is that? Yeah, but there's nothing in here. What is that? Clip, settings, theater mode, edit. What is edit? Video producer. Preview, choose a thumbnail. There's no marker. Maybe because I can't even add any quick actions, I just don't have the function or like the, you know, the ability to see them. Wait, where am I? There you go. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to mess with this if it's too hard to design it so that it's easily accessible, or it's just not accessible to me, then I don't want to mess with it. Okay. Let's use my phone, or I can, yeah, my notes probably. Make a new note here, and then we can start. Make a new one. No, I don't want to search. Dude, today's a scuffed day. Okay. Okay, so we actually don't need this. We don't need Blender for today. I mean, probably we do. So let's make a new file. I mean, make a new new window. General. There you go. Don't save. Okay, perfect. Oh. Nope. I don't want to save this. Okay, perfect. So. Oh. Okay, perfect. So let's talk about the most asked questions that people have looked for regarding Blender. Not a blender that you use to blend your fruits or make yourself a smoothie, but rather how, yeah, the program, the 3D program. So let's go over how I found all these questions. They're pretty easy to find. Maybe it's going to be helpful for you as well if you, I don't know, work in marketing or whatever. Maybe you want to do some keyword research, or yeah, just want to see what people are interested in. You can do that very easily with this website that I found. So I'm going to go into display capture. Ooh. I've actually darkened the display capture, so it's a little bit more pleasing on the eyes. Before it was like kind of baby blue. Now it's more gray. I think that is kind of, especially when it's darker, a little bit easier on the eyes. So let's go over where I get my questions from. So we have this window right here, and the questions, or the website that I've used, is called Content Research. No, it's not called Content Research. It is called Answer the Public. So discover what people are asking about. So you could ask, like, okay, what could you ask? You could ask chocolate. You could ask chocolate. What do you get? Nothing. Why? You've hit the maximum number of free searches for today. Oh, okay, because I searched hold on. So we're just gonna grab what I already use, or what I've searched for. Hopefully it works now. Yeah, you can type in anything and you get basically like a small map of everything that people ask. So if I type in, wow, okay, hold on. How do we make this now? Let's see if it works in a private window, or I'm just gonna use another browser maybe. Let's see. Blender 3D. Nope. Please. Don't block me like that. Let's try Chrome. Answer. Okay. Blender 3D. I like this. No, like this. Let's say like that. Yeah. Dude, are you serious? What's new? Like, how can I just open the website over and over and over again, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore? Or did I just use Blender? No, I just typed in Blender 3D. New search? No. Yeah, I don't wanna... Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that later. I don't wanna look at it. So how could we get around this? Hopefully it's not like an IP ban. I mean, like an IP whatever. I could use my phone to do it as well, but I don't have a VPN. Let's use my phone. So, or I could just clear my cache if that works. I don't really know. Let's see. Let's see if that works. Hold on, I'm gonna go back to Blender real quick. Let's try and fix this problem here. I don't think it's my cache, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. So where's my... There it is. Internet cache. I don't wanna... oh, I hate clearing my cache. But we'll try. Let's try. Oh, stimmt. Oh yeah, right. Oh wow. Hold on. You're right. Hold on. How do I even use that? I've never used it before. Is it on the side here? GX control, GX cleaner, player. Opera, GX, VPN. Okay. No, I don't want to. Dude. How? Oh my god. Why does this have to be like this? Please just let me use your website. Is it so hard? You know, when I googled Opera GX, it shows me Opera, how to enable a VPN on Opera GX. See, show me. Wow, he has quite a lot of files on his browser. I mean, on his desktop. Please just don't tell me anything. Just, oh, advanced. Oh, okay. Hold on. Where am I? Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, let's activate it. Yeah, I found it. Did I? Oh, okay, it worked. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's try again. Let's try again. So let's restart the website. Okay, Blender 3D. Aha, there you go. Okay, finally. Let's go back to the display capture. Okay, so as I was saying, hold on, I'm gonna make a new timestamp. So, as I was saying, you can type in any. So this website basically works as it's called Answer the Public, and what you can do on it is you can type in any keyword, and it gives you the most or the phrases that got typed into websites or like search engines. I think mostly Google. I don't know. I think they use not only Google but also stuff like DuckDuckGo to get their, I guess, to their results. You can type in any keyword and it gives you like a map of multiple, or like, of all the phrases that included this keyword that got typed in the most. I don't know how long the time frame is, but that's how it works. So if you go a little bit deeper, you can see Blender 3D 37 questions. You can see the visualization or as data. This one is actually quite helpful. You can just see different, I guess, different phrases that it gets separated into different phases, like what is Blender 3D and all that stuff. You have different categories. You have questions, you have prepositions, you have comparisons, and just a few more alphabetical phrases, like ordered, like sorted in alphabetical order. So what I want to do is I want to go into the here. I want to go into each one of them. We're probably going to do at least 50 just to hit a good number. We're going to go through them, kind of explain or like answer the questions to kind of create, I don't know, like a small library of information. So if you, I don't know, if you've never used Blender, if you're new to Blender, or you just want to learn a little bit more, you've never heard of it before, maybe this helps you. So let's go clockwise, and then we're gonna, when we're done with this one, we're gonna go to the next one. So let's hold on. What happens if I click on this? Oh, okay. Okay, well, oh, it actually types it in. That's pretty cool. Okay, so what is Blender 3D? So Blender 3D is a 3D modeling software that is not only that you can not only use for, or you can say it probably is a 3D software. You can not only model in Blender, you can also simulate, of course. You can animate. You can also draw in 3D. It's like a mix between 2D and 3D, where you kind of place the drawing in 3D space. This way you can, yeah, not only draw, simulate and model, but you can do way more. You can create shaders, but overall it's like a 3D modeling software that has almost probably everything that you need to start your 3D journey. But some of the aspects, of course, if you have everything, you can't be like perfect in each of them. So for a few of these aspects might be a little bit weaker. So other programs are better in that aspect. But overall, if you just want to learn about the 3D modeling process, or a different like a certain like animation, for example, if you want to learn about that, I think Blender is a great way to start. Going and learning about it, because it's very easy to get into. So next question. What is Blender 3D used for? Blender 3D is used for, as I said before, first of all, so it's not really a commercial program necessarily. People use it because it's free, so you don't have to pay any money. And this, of course, makes it way easier to get into. And overall, what it's used for, I use it, for example, myself. To give an example, what I've done, I think the last long-term project that we've done is quite a good example on what you can do with it. So the last long-term project that I've done was a model. So I used a sphere and sculpted it with sculpting tools that is similar to using clay in real life, and sculpted a real life sculpt, the Venus de Milo. Then once that is done, you can kind of clean it up with new geometry to make it just look better and perform better in Blender itself. And then once that's done, I can apply textures, images, and all that stuff to the model to kind of make it look better, to give it a certain look. For example, if you have a stone, you can apply a stone texture to it to make it look like a stone. That's basically how it works. That's one thing you can do. Textures, you can model, you can sculpt with basically sculpting tools. You can also render stuff, meaning rendering means that you can set your model that you've created into a scene or into the 3D world. You can then switch to the rendered view, which means that it takes into account all the lighting that you can add to the scene. So in the beginning, you just have like your model, for example, and then you can add like a light from here, for example, and then the light will shine onto the object, and you can see you can see some light shining onto the object, which creates shadows and all that. That's also one thing you can do that is called rendering. You can also do stuff like 3D printing, or basically prepare your models for 3D printing. You cannot use it for to print 3D models, but you can create models to 3D print. Same. What you can also do is animations, which is what we're going to do tomorrow, actually, and you can also do some, I guess you can actually edit videos. You can do so much more. I don't want to go like cover all that you can do, but there's a lot that you can do. So if you're interested in that, maybe you have never looked into Blender, maybe that might be something you're interested in. Next question. Blender, what is it? No, Blender, what is a 3D cursor? What is the 3D cursor in Blender? So we can actually go into Blender to, I guess, demonstrate it better. So the 3D cursor in Blender is basically this small little, I guess, safety ring there in the center. The 3D cursor is basically a small little point in 3D space. So this window is the 3D space right there. You can see the different axes. Hold on, bigger picture. I mean, we can probably switch to Blender to make it easier. There you go. Okay, so the 3D cursor right there, the small little red and white ring basically with the axis in there as well. That is the 3D cursor. What you can do with the 3D cursor is you can first of all position it somewhere else. You can also first of all create a certain like anchor point with it, but the general reason why it exists is to first of all create a marker in the scene, and also to, for example, do stuff like move object, or what it is mainly used for is basically as a spawn point for object. So if you go ahead and want to add a new object, this circle, this red and white circle, will be used to add objects to the scene. So if you, for example, have if you want to add a, I don't know, like a cube, for example, you can add a cube. If you want to add another cube on top of this cube, or halfway in the cube, or let's say on this corner right there, you can go right there. You can then say add another mesh. For example, you can add different objects. Let's add another mesh. Let's add a sphere to the corner of the cube. You can then add the sphere, and there you go. Now it spawns where it always spawns where the red and white circle is, and that is mainly what it is used for. What you can also do with the 3D cursor is stuff like you can use the 3D cursor to define an anchor point for an object. That sounds probably kind of weird, but an anchor point for an extra object is basically, for example, if you do rotations for an object, that is the point that the object is rotating around. So if my finger is the middle point, and this is like a, okay, that's kind of weird. Let's do it in Blender. So you can see the anchor point is this orange dot in the center. If I move my 3D cursor, you can see it easier right there. So now if I rotate the ball, you can see it rotates like this, exactly around the orange midpoint. You can see the dotted line as well that is created from my cursor to the midline. That's basically connected with the anchor point. If you want to move the anchor point, what you can do is you can use the 3D cursor, move the 3D cursor somewhere else, maybe where it is already, over here. Then you can go into Object, Set Origin, 3D Cursor, which means I'm going to move the orange dot to the 3D cursor. So that's another use how you can use the 3D cursor. It has quite a few uses, but the main use is probably just, yeah, to add objects to a scene where you want it. So you can move the 3D cursor to add objects somewhere else. That could, for example, be useful if you have like a huge scene, and your 3D cursor usually is always in the world origin, so where the axes collide, where you have the y-axis, the x-axis, the red one, the green one is the y-axis, and then the z-axis that goes up. That's usually where the, I guess, spawn point or 3D cursor starts. But if you, for example, have like a huge scene and you want to spawn another object over here, you can move the cursor over here and then move, like add it there. That's basically the main use of it. Yeah, that's the 3D cursor. Let's go to the next question. Oh, Blender, what is a 3D view? So the 3D view we just saw, we could probably just go back to Blender to kind of explain it more, but overall let's explain it first in here. Or can I, oh, you mean this bigger so you can see the question better? Hold on. I think I can open it as an image. Hold on. Image view. Oh, hold on. I saved the image, I guess. F11, yeah, hold on. Well, that's, then I can switch to Windows. I'm just gonna make it bigger like that. I think that should work as well. I think that's now bigger. Hopefully you can see it now. Hold on. Zip. That should be big enough, right? Okay. So, Blender, what is 3D view? So, the 3D view is basically a window that is essential for all your 3D modeling needs. What the 3D view does is it shows you the world, basically. So every time you want to create something in 3D, of course you need a world to place your object into a 3D world, similar to a canvas in Photoshop, or in any, like in, I don't know, Paint, for example. You have the canvas where you can place your paint on to, yeah, draw something. In Blender, for 3D modeling, you need a world to add objects to. So that is why you have the 3D view. we can see the 3D view as well over here in Blender. The 3D view has this small icon right there, this ball with this grid underneath. And it looks like this. If we reset the scene, you can see what it looks like. That is my, so I changed the scene from default to, I guess, my preferences. So it looks a little bit different to what you would see if you open up Blender first, like for the first time. But that is basically the 3D view. You have the Y-axis right there. You have the X-axis going in the other direction. And then you have the Z-axis going up. So if I would move this ball on the location Z-axis up, you can see the ball moves up. If I want to move it on the X-axis, I can use the X-axis value to move it to the X-axis. And then, of course, Y, the same way. So that's the 3D view. You can rotate around in the 3D view. You can move your camera. You can also zoom in. You can zoom out. And yeah, that's basically the window where you can see all the models in your scene. So if you, for example, have a ball right there, you move it all the way over here. You work on this for a while, then you want to say, oh well, I want to see I want to see what the other sphere looks like, or I want to work on the other sphere. You can go all the way over here in the world in the 3D view, and you can see the other sphere. So that's what the 3D view is used for. You can even see the horizon at the back there. I don't know if that's really visible, but you can see it. I think the axis is kind of fading out. Yeah, that's what the 3D view is used for. Let's go to the next question. What to make in Blender 3D? Well, that's quite a broad question, but I think, I mean, yeah, I think that kind of depends on what you want to do, basically. So the question could either be like what you can make, but I think that's already what we've covered. What to make, I think that's a little bit different. You can kind of pose it different. What you can say is, for example, or what you can take out of the question is what you should decide on what you want to do, or how you find what you want to do. What I've done to kind of see what I like to do or what I want to focus more on, because Blender is so big, it's similar to like a library. You would have to find like a certain topic, for example, sci-fi, to really dig into it and learn more about the books, or maybe I don't know, you go into physics, like the physics section, you can learn more about physics. That's also similar to with Blender. You basically have this library of, I guess, tools and stuff that you can use, and to really learn more about a certain topic, you first of all need to know which topic you want to do. So what I've done to learn or to know what I want to do is I've watched a few tutorials, or yeah, the first thing that I've done is watch a few tutorials just to get the basics done. The basics will help you to, first of all, maneuver in the 3D viewport, and also help you, it'll help you just make your life easy in Blender. If you know the basics, you can then go more into detail. So basically the basics in a library would be to know how to use like the library PC to get to where you can find the physics books. Once you know that, then you can go and just look up what you can do. We said it before, animation, 3D modeling. You can model cars, you can model interiors of like architecture. You can sculpt characters. That's what I like to do. You can animate. I think I said that already. You can texture objects. You can photo scan stuff. So you can then convert that into models, which you could sell actually. You can sell a lot of stuff, but that's something you can sell. You could create shaders that are used to make objects look a certain way in the rendered view. So for example, if you have like a mirror, you would have to set the properties, the physical properties of that object, so that it reflects everything that is being thrown at it, or at the surface, basically, to create a mirror. You could do image post-production. You could edit videos. You can do so much stuff. I mean, I guess, yeah, you can just decide what you want to do, and then you can go deeper into that topic. And once you're bored with that topic, or you think you know everything that you want to know about it, you can go to the next one, or you can just, yeah, get better at what you already know. What can I do with Blender 3D? I mean, that's, I think, probably a very similar question, so I don't think we have to cover that. Is Blender 3D free? Ooh. We covered it before, but yeah. Blender 3D is free. I think it's the only 3D software that is really used anymore, that is free. It is free for you, but if you want to pay, you can pay. So basically how they survive, you might ask, it's pretty simple. It's similar to, I don't know, like content creators, you could also say. People like their product, like their content, so they decide to pay money or to donate to help the team develop the program. I don't really know what it's called out of like right now, but it's similar to yeah, content creators, for example. You like their product and you go to, I don't know, their not Pinterest, you go to their website where they have their profile, and then you can donate a little bit of money to help them get by without having to do like regular work. What you do if you pay, or if you pay them money, to the Blender organization, the Blender team, that helps them develop better, or just keep developing and making the program better. And that's what you basically pay for. You can use it for free. It's not like you have to pay. It is completely free, but if you want to pay a little bit, you can do that. If you want to actually pay, hold on, I want to actually see that. So if you go into blender.com, Blender.org. Okay, well, org. Okay, this is the normal website. And if you want to donate, you can go to this button right there. This will give you the development fund. This is a monthly contribution, so that's as much as they, I think, get from individual donations. I know that they also have companies that back them, like Epic, for example. They help, or they work together to make or to implement Blender better in their development for games, for example. So they pay them, they pay Blender to kind of put more focus on the function that they like or that they want to develop more. This way they get, it's actually combined. So 156 per month is basically the development fund that they get. 2,564 individuals give the money, and 24 corporations give the money. You can choose different levels: bronze, silver, gold, platinum, titanium, diamond, and corporate. Corporate is probably just, I mean, like an unlimited amount of money. And this way you can support if you want, and then you get these nice badges. Or you can even see the patrons: AMD, Facebook, Amazon, whatever. What is it? AWS, something with Amazon, Epic, and a few more. That just help the development. You can actually help the development as well by going to the Blender market, but we can go into that a little bit later. There are a few questions that actually go into that. So yeah, that's how Blender survives without your money, and how you can use Blender without giving the money. So yeah, Blender is free. If you want to use it, feel free. It is free. Next question. How to Blender 3D? We could probably combine the two, how to use Blender 3D and how to Blender 3D. I think the best way to, I guess, show what it does is just to go into Blender. So let's switch to Blender. There you go. So let's reset the scene. So this is the general standard Blender window. Or no, hold on, this is not the standard Blender window. This is actually like a custom window. So what you can do in general, how you use Blender in general, is you have your 3D viewport. This is a window that you're going to see when you start up Blender for the first time. Here you can organize all your models in the 3D view. You then also have a few more windows. All the windows that you really need in the beginning is the first one you really need is the 3D modeling window. If you want to go more deeper into it, you have different windows like the shader editor, where you can, for example, create shaders for objects, meaning you can go in here, add a new shader, and change the roughness, for example, to make it more shiny, maybe metallic to give it like this mirror effect. So you have this window, and if you want to, every single function or all the different functions have individual windows, which you can switch and mix and match in this like free layout basically in Blender by choosing it at the top left. So if here, for example, you can switch between all of them. You can go to the geometry node editor, timeline, or whatever you need. You could even write Python, I think, commands, or maybe programs for add-ons, for example. And yeah, you can set your layout however you want. So meaning you can move this. So every time you have this split right there, you have this line in the center, which you can move. It's similar to Windows when you resize Windows. That sounds kind of weird, but yeah. If you want to add more windows, or you want to reduce the amount of windows you have, you can go in here and just, for example, join areas to remove one of these two windows. So now this field is like just the single shader editor. If I do it again, everything is filled with the 3D view. And then if you want to bring back, or you want to split the view again, or this window in the center, what you can do is you can right click on this line and then say horizontal split, for example, or vertical split to split the window. So you have two, and then you can switch it to whatever you need. Let's go back to the shader editor. If you then want to do some modeling, let's that would probably be the best, or the earliest step that you would do. The beginning file has a cube in the center, and then you can, yeah, how you 3D model. I think that's the first thing that you should learn after how you move your camera. Moving your camera, if you have a mouse, would be rotating by holding the middle mouse button. This rotates around a certain axis in the 3D viewport. If you want to move your camera off of that rotation point, you hold Shift and then hold middle mouse button to move your camera. You also then have zooming, just by rotating, or no, scrolling with your scroll wheel. And yeah, that's everything you need to move in your viewport. If you don't have a mouse, or you don't have a mouse wheel, there's a setting in the preferences. Hold on, I have to switch to display capture so you can see it. In here, those are the preferences. If you go to input, you have emulate 3-button mouse. That is useful if you use a pen, for example, a graphics tablet, or just like a Magic Mouse for a Mac. You would need to emulate to enable emulate 3D-button mouse to have the same functions. Although with the Magic Mouse actually doesn't have a scroll wheel, but you can, I think, like just do the same motion and it does like the same effect, but the functions are kind of mixed, because if you scroll with a Magic Mouse, you just like swipe forward, it I think rotates, which is kind of weird. So if you want to have the same functions with different hotkeys, you would have to enable the 3-button mouse. And then if you want to use the 3-button mouse functions, first of all, hold on, I have to I usually use my, oh, there you go. So the first one to move your camera would be to hold Shift and Alt. That's why it's called 3-button mouse, because you need 3 buttons to do it. 3-button mouse, the Shift, Alt, and left click to move in your 3D viewport. To rotate, you hold Alt and then left click, which is not really a 3 button, but whatever. Alt and then left click to rotate, and then to zoom in, you hold Control and Alt and left click, and then move your mouse up, like forward and backward to zoom in. That's how you can get around the mouse cursor, I mean the mouse wheel. So that's how you use the navigation. If you want to change this cube to a different shape, what you can do is you can go into edit mode to adjust the geometry. That is basically how you change any object in edit mode. You can also add stuff like modifiers, but that is a little bit more advanced. If you just first starting off, you would first of all just learn how to model stuff, which means if you want to change this this cube, you go into from object mode up here, up the top left in the window of the 3D viewport. You go from object mode to edit mode. You can also do that by hitting tab to switch between them instantaneously. And then you're in the 3D viewport. This displays you the same geometry, but with a more detailed view, meaning it shows you what the object actually consists of. You can see these dots in every single corner right here. You can also see these dots are connected by edges or lines. More, they're called edges, but you can see there are these lines between the two corners, or these two dots. And then you also have like this surface that is covered, that covers basically the space between all these dots. These dots are called vertices, the edges are called edges, and the surface are called faces. So for example, if you want to move a vertice, that's how you adjust the geometry of like an object. You would just select it, and then you would either use the tools that you have on your left side, which you can open by pressing T, and you can hide it by pressing T. If you, for example, use the move tool, and that's what you would see in your standard Blender window, then you could move using these arrows, and you can create a different shape. So if you, for example, if you want to make like a slope, you can grab these two vertices, pull them up, and now you have a slope. If you would want to move a face, you can switch the selection from vertice to edge select, for example, and then you can move the whole edge by itself. Now you can see the vertices are hidden, the dots, because you cannot select them anymore. You can only select edges. If I switch back to the vertex select, you can see the dots are back, and then you can move them again. If you want to move the faces, you can go into face select mode. Now you can see nothing is there anymore, except of course if you click on one of these surfaces, or also called faces, you can see now you can move the whole face. If you click on the white circle, you can see you can rotate it freely. Yeah, that's how you can edit objects in Blender. You can change the shape. So this way you can, for example, I don't know, I don't want to explain every single tool, but for example, if you want to make I don't know, make this like a hallway, or like an archway, you can bevel this, give it like a nice rounding. Then we can remove these two faces. We have this nice hallway right there, or archway, and then we can, for example, select everything and extrude it to make it thicker, and there you go. Now we have a nice, I don't know, entrance or whatever. So that's how you use Blender, basically. That's the very, very basic way of how to use Blender. There's like way more advanced options, way more advanced techniques, but that is the most basic way. That's how I started to learn Blender, and that's probably also how you will learn how to use Blender. But because this is like the most important thing to know about how to use Blender, basically. Okay, let's get to the next question. How to use Blender? Well, we had that before. How to use Blender 3D modeling? Well, we covered that as well. Perfect. We have 3 questions in one. How to sell Blender 3D models? Oh, so as I mentioned before briefly, of course, if you do anything that you can use, you can sell it. So, for example, I could now grab my hallway that I just created and sell it. First of all, of course, I have to make it like importable into Blender, but if I want to sell it, yeah, I can do that. How that works is basically you create, or like you prepare the file for somebody else to use it. You can first of all save it. You can maybe even like sort everything so that if somebody looks into it, like into the file, they can very easily see what they're looking for. So then if you are ready to sell your model, there are at least 2 websites that I know of that you can sell, where you can sell objects. The first one is more a universal website where I actually grabbed a few models as well because they were free. They have a free section. But if you go to Turbo Squid, there you go, 3D models for professionals. There you can upload your own 3D models and sell them. For example, if we type in whatever, let's search for squid 3D models. There you go, and there you go. We have a few squids that somebody modeled and put on here for you to download. We can see we have a few selections. This one looks cute. Let's go into it. Oh, let's go into here. You can see not only the model, it also has textures applied to it, and then you can see like a few more angles just to see if it like is to your liking, if you want to buy it. If you of course want to sell models, what you would do is you would create your account, of course, and then I haven't really tried it. I have never really sold a model, so how that works, we could maybe, I guess, discover in another stream maybe. But overall, how it works is you create a account, and then you can, yeah, upload your models and sell them to whatever price you set them to. So the first one is Turbo Squid, and then there's one more which is called Blender Market. That's what it looks like, the small little bee that we saw before on the Blender website. The Blender Market works like, it's a community market, of course. If you buy something on the Blender Market, a certain fraction of it, or a certain percent of that money actually goes to the Blender Development Fund. So if you buy something in here, it actually goes to the development fund. And if you want to sell your own stuff, of course, you, log in or sign up, and then you can put in your stuff right there. All these tutorials, for example, are community created, procedural texturing, or AutoRig Pro, hard ops, and you can also look for stuff like models. So for example, you can see 3D printable anatomy, animals. Let's go into animals. Let's search for another squid. You can see, for example, a few here as well, a squirrel, a T-Rex. They all have a certain price to them. And if you go into, let's search for squid. There you go. And there's a squid. Oh, that's not really a squid, but there are not that many here, but at least we have one, an octopus. There you go. This is Quentin Willen. He uploaded it. It's even rigged, so you can use it for animations. And yeah, you can buy it if you want it, or you can sell stuff on your own. That's how it works. These two websites, I know there are probably way more, but I haven't really looked into like buying models too much. There's also another website which I can't really remember the name of, where you can get free models, where it's basically like a exchange market, where you can just upload your stuff and everybody can grab it. But yeah, those are the two websites that I know where you can buy and sell models. So, how to download Blender 3D. Oh, we were already on the website, but I didn't show you how you actually download Blender 3D. So if you want to download Blender 3D, you go into, you open a new tab, you type in Blender, either Blender or blender.org to get right to the website. And there you go. You get greeted by these nice animals right there, these dinosaurs. You can see Blender 2.92 is out. That's the version that I use. A completely new workflow for editing meshes, new physics simulation, methods and so much more. Open source 3D creation, free to use for any purpose forever. Download Blender 2.92. That's the button that you need. You click on it, you get to another website, you get the download button. If you click on that, you go to another website where it says, thank you for downloading, and then you can install it. You can also select other versions. You can switch from Windows, which is the standard, to macOS, also Linux and Steam. I think it's also on Steam, but I think on Steam it's not, I think it's a little bit more unstable on Steam. So what I usually do is I just download it and have it as a separate program. Yep, that's how you download Blender. How to 3D model? Well, that's probably the same question that we had before, how to use Blender, or yeah, that's what we already covered. How to learn Blender 3D? Oh, this is actually a quite interesting question. So I can maybe share how I learned Blender. So I've been using Blender now for 2 years. I could probably basically, first of all, say it in like a few words, I guess. How to learn Blender, practice and time. I mean, that's probably the most boring answer, but that's basically the most cut dry question probably. If you want to have like a more elaborate answer, I would say how to learn Blender 3D. So what you want to do first is, if you want to start from scratch, you want to probably open a beginner tutorial to learn about it, to learn the basics, because I think if you just go into Blender and try to learn it yourself, it can be quite overwhelming, and you will probably give up. I don't want to judge you, but that's what I did in the beginning. Then I watched a tutorial and it was way more understandable. So that's what I would suggest. Then once you know the basics, like moving in the 3D viewport and all that stuff, what I showed you briefly, how to edit objects, how to navigate in the Blender window, then you can go deeper into a certain topic. So for example, for me, what I did was I thought to myself, okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to go into animations? Do I want to go into, I don't know, modeling? Do I want to go into sculpting? What I decided to do was I wanted to create characters. So I looked up two videos about character modeling. What I found out was that the most common way to create characters is through sculpting. So I looked into how you sculpt in Blender. I looked up a few tutorials, looked at them, and then I created my own projects. So then once you get into that phase where you can basically work in Blender without having to look up everything on YouTube or whatever, once you can kind of create your own projects without like always having to go back to the internet to look up stuff, then you can go and basically create projects. So what I would suggest, if you want to learn as fast as possible, you want to say, okay, well, I want to be able to create a full character with hair and pores and all that stuff in Blender in a year, for example, or maybe even less. So what you would do is, for example, what I would suggest in the beginning is, if you have a lot to learn about a topic, do short projects, like, I don't know, like an hour or maybe a day. And then once you're done with that project, you set yourself a certain deadline where you say, okay, now I'm going to stop. This way you cannot tell yourself, okay, well, I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to do a little bit more there. I'm going to do there. And then you're going to end up like 3 hours later. You want to avoid that. So you set yourself like, okay, in 2 hours, I'm going to be done with this. And then once you're done with it, you're not going to go to the next project. What you're going to do is, we're going to look at your old project and you're going to analyze what you want to do better. You can either do that by, for example, if you want to learn how to sculpt a nose, you can first of all sculpt a nose, and then you can maybe look at reference or look at videos of somebody showing how they sculpt their nose, to then kind of reflect on your own work to see what you can do better next time. And then once you know what you can do better next time, you make a new project, like another 2-hour project of sculpting a nose, and then you can reflect on it again to see maybe new flaws or new things you want to fix. Maybe you see you've done better this time. Maybe you want to improve even more. You want to maybe do different variations, and this way you can always in a very short amount of time get a lot of feedback on your own projects, which will help you the most get better. Because in my opinion, the best way to learn anything is to fix your own problems or your own mistakes. And by doing a lot of short projects, you do a lot of mistakes, which you can fix very quickly. So yeah, that's how, for example, I just recently learned how to do environment modeling. I had no idea how I really would approach it. So then I said, okay, for every stream I do a quick sketch, which means in the beginning of the stream, I do a 30-minute quick sketch. I have 30 minutes to model an image that I'm then going to post to social media, no matter how awful it is. So what I decided at some point is I wanted to learn more about environment modeling. What I've done is I just started. So I just thought to myself, okay, how could I approach this? I just made a few, I had an idea what I could do. Like, okay, I'm going to make a plane, then I'm going to put some mountains on there or whatever. How would I make these mountains and all that stuff? The first few were but of course, obviously not this good, super good. So the good part about these quick sketches is I only have 30 minutes to work on them, which first of all, means that I have to work fast, so I can't focus on small details, which also exposes big flaws that you might have. Maybe sometimes you work on it more and more and more, and you add more and more detail, which kind of means you get lost in that detail, which kind of also shows you, or which hides maybe big flaws that you might have. If you only have 30 minutes, for example, you can really only focus on the fundamentals. And if there's something wrong with your fundamentals, which is the most important part about modeling anything or working on anything, if your fundamentals are bad, the outcome might most likely be bad. You get after 30 minutes, you get a good feedback on what you can improve next time. You look at it. Okay, well, I want to do this better next time, or I want to change this. Maybe the workflow can be better this way. And this way, you just hone your skills more and more and more, without having to watch tutorials. But of course, tutorials help as well. So yeah, doing your own work, a lot of work helps. And then watching tutorials, of course, helps as well to kind of maybe cover any questions you can't really answer yourself, or to just, yeah, maybe see someone else to like show their technique. Maybe you can learn something from them as well. That's how I learned Blender throughout my last 2 years. And that's how I'm going to continue to learn. How to use Blender 3D printing. Oh, so I'm not an expert in 3D printing, but as far as I know, the program doesn't really matter, the 3D program that you use for 3D printing. The only real thing that matters for 3D printing is the outcome. So what you would do for 3D printing is you wouldn't import a program file, you would import an exchange file. The difference between the two is that in a program file, like a blend file, for example, .blend is behind every Blender file. The blend file saves more settings that are only specific to Blender, which you don't really need in a 3D printing, or which the 3D printer don't need. The 3D printer cannot read or do anything with these settings. So what you would do to import your 3D printed model is you would export it as a different interchangeable file. For example, OBJ would be an example. OBJ is a interchangeable file which you can use to not only, of course, use it for 3D printing, but also these files are used to make them universally usable in multiple 3D programs like Maya or Cinema 4D as well. So if you want to move an object or like a model from Cinema 4D to Blender, you would export that Cinema 4D model as an OBJ, and then you could import it into Blender, which then works fine in there as well. So if you want to make a 3D printable model, it doesn't matter what 3D program you need. Which 3D program you use. It only matters that you export it as an OBJ. And then, of course, in the 3D program that you use, you have to optimize the model so that it is perfectly set up to be used in for 3D printing. So stuff like you make sure that all the normals, I'm not gonna explain every single vocabulary that I use here, but make sure that every normal is facing outward. This way, if any normals are facing inwards, they're going to be seen from that 3D printer as a whole. So you have like one single face that is facing inside, there's going to be a hole in that model that is being put in by the 3D printer, or the inwards facing face will be interpreted as a whole. Make sure that that's, for example, not happening. You have different optimization. You have to optimize your model for the material that you use for the 3D printing process, resin or whatever you use. They all have different aspects or different ways how you optimize them. So you just have to see which substance or which material you use to 3D print, and then you have to optimize the model in your desired 3D software so that it fits their requirements. That's how you use the Blender for 3D printing. It's not really like a specific, I guess, process. It's the same for every program, but yeah. You just create a model and then optimize it for the print. Why is Blender 3D free? I think we covered it before. We can maybe just talk about it real quick again. Blender 3D is free because it is what is it called? I can't remember what the correct term is, but Blender 3D, or for you, Blender 3D is free because others pay for it. Others donate to it. So if you like Blender 3D and you want to support Blender, you can still do that. You can donate to them. That's how Blender supports, how Blender survives. Blender is, of course, takes money to develop, and they survive by generous people that like their product, or that people that want them to develop, like or develop further the program. They give them money, they don't donate them money. This way they can survive. So it's similar to, I gave that that example before. A content creator, they couldn't survive if first of all, nobody would watch the videos, and then there would be no advertisements, money. And then also most of them also have stuff like, for Twitch, for example, subscriptions, or like plain out donations, where people can just send the money so that they can pay the rent for the month. That's how say they survive, and that's similar to how Blender survives as well. Why use Blender 3D? Oh, so I could maybe say why I use Blender 3D, and that is a pretty simple reason. It is free. So why use Blender 3D? First of all, of course, you could say, okay, why use Blender 3D instead of any other software? You could say, yeah, well, it's free. That's probably the best reason for anyone starting off. You don't have to pay any money to get into it, to get into 3D modeling or learning Blender, or overall just 3D modeling. So yeah, it's free. That's the first reason. Another reason would be, yeah, to overall just learn more about 3D modeling. If you want to work as a, I don't know, CG artist, Blender is probably a good option to learn about how you model objects to then import it into After Effects, for example. Yeah, why use Blender 3D? If you want to learn more about 3D, Blender is probably a good option to do that. All the other programs are quite expensive. I think at least $30, I think, a month, or 30 euros, I don't really know. So yeah, if you want to go free, then Blender is a good option. Why learn Blender 3D? I mean, because you want to learn more about 3D modeling and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, why learn Blender 3D? Because you want to learn more about 3D modeling, 3D, yeah, all you can do in 3D. You can almost everything you can do in Blender, and that might be a reason why you want to learn Blender. Why is Blender 3? We already covered that. How much does Blender 3D cost? Nothing. Okay, let's go to the next one. Can Blender 3D print? Yeah, we talked about it before. Blender 3D is not the program that you need to print. It is not required to print. It is only the program that helps you prepare your model for 3D printing. You would then give it to the program of your 3D printer for it to interpret it and then export it as a print. So Blender cannot 3D print. It is only used to prepare your model for the 3D printing process. It's similar to programs like InDesign from Adobe, where you can create, for example, like a layout or like a flyer. Then you would export it as a PNG. No, not PNG. PDF, as a PDF, which will then be given to the printing press, so that this printing press can then interpret that PDF and use the information in that PDF to create the flyer in real life and print it out. That's basically how the chain is for 3D printing as well. And Blender is basically the program to lay out all the graphics. Can Blender do 3D printing? Yep. I mean, no, but that's the same question. What can Blender 3D do? We already covered that. Can Blender make 3D animations? Yep. Blender can do or make 3D animations. You can animate in 3D. You can probably do that in almost all the 3D programs, at least the most used, like the ones that are used the most. For example, Cinema 4D or Maya or 3ds Max. You could do the same in Blender as well. So how you animate anything in 3D is you have your model. For example, me, if I would just be like a model like this, or like this, like in a T pose, how you would model or how you would animate something is you would give that model bones. for example, like you have your arm right there, and then you have a model, I mean, a bone for your lower arm, for your forearm, and then you would say, okay, the geometry that is around that bone will be affected by that bone. So if I move that bone somewhere else, the geometry will follow that bone. This way you can create rigs which will which you can animate. So for example, if you want to have an animation of somebody like looking around, you would put a bone into the head. You would say, okay, the entirety of the head, the geometry that is part of the head, will follow the movement of the bone, and then you would move the bone and you could move the head. That's how you 3D animate, and yep, it is possible in Blender. Can Blender open 3D Max or 3ds Max files? Nope, that is not possible. That's we kind of touched on it before. If you want to transfer 3ds Max files, for example, to Blender, what you would have to do is you'd have to export it as some sort of interchangeable format like OBJ, which you can then import into Blender. So the files that you save in 3ds Max, I don't know what they're called, like .max, I don't know. I've never used 3ds Max, but the .max files are not openable in Blender because they're specific to the program. If you want to import or like transfer a model from 3ds Max to Blender, you would have to export it to an interchangeable format like OBJ, which can then be opened or imported into Blender, and then you have the same model in Blender that you had in 3ds Max. Can Blender open 3D model files? I mean, that's probably the same question. Depends on, of course, which file you mean. If it's like a program specific file, then no. But if it's, first of all, a blend file, of course, then you can open it like a Blender file, then it works. And it can also open interchangeable files like OBJ. So if you go to Blender and then to import, there are all the files that are supported. You can just look through the list, and if there's the one that you need, then yeah, it does work. But if it's a specific program, I mean a specific file format that is only supported in the 3D software where it comes from, then no, it cannot. Blender cannot see the 3D cursor. Oh, another 3D cursor question. So usually, okay, so that's probably more like a fix. I can quickly show how if I don't know where the 3D cursor is, how I would fix it. We could go to Blender for that real quick. So that's the archway we've created before. Let's make a new file. There you go. So the 3D cursor, of course, is this red and white circle in the center. If it's somewhere else, like I don't know, on the horizon somewhere over there. Okay, well, it's back here in the front, but let's move it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna move this all the way over there. Okay, now the cursor is all the way over there. You don't see it anymore. Oh, where's my cursor? It's gone. Oh no, where's my cursor? If you want to bring it back and you don't know where it is, there are a few options how to do it. The first option would be to, I mean, it's pretty simple actually. If you want to bring it back to the world origin, basically where all the 3 axes collide, the y-axis, the green one, the red one, the x-axis, and then the z-axis that goes from top to bottom. If you want to bring it back to that spot, you press Shift S, hold Shift S, and then you have multiple settings for the 3D cursor. The one for the world center would be cursor to world origin. You just hold, you have this small menu that when you hold Shift S opens up, and then if you hold your mouse on cursor to world origin and you let it go, it brings it back to the center. I think you can also just click on it. Nope, that doesn't work. You just have to hover over the setting that you want to use. You release Shift and S, and it brings the cursor back to the world origin. If you want to bring it back to the object all the way back there, zip, you can see now it's on the world origin, but you want to bring it back to the sphere because you need it over here. The first thing you can do is you can either just move it manually, by holding shift and then right clicking brings it to the spot where your mouse is right now. But if you, for example, wanted to put it right in the center of this sphere, or right where the anchor point is, this orange dot, you press shift and S and then cursor to selected brings it right in, like right on that anchor point. That's how you can find your cursor again. That's usually all the two functions that I need to find my cursor if I ever need it or lose it. Either shift S, cursor to world origin to bring it all the way back to the world origin, or shift S, cursor to selected, which brings it back to the object that you have selected right now. So you can see whether or not an object is selected by seeing the orange outline. If there's an orange outline, it is selected. Then holding shift S and then hovering over cursor to selected, you can see it brings it back to the object that was selected. Those are the two functions that I use. Okay. Blender can't detect 3D hardware. Oh, that's a problem I actually never had. Can't detect 3D hardware. So I know that, I mean, hardware could be anything like mouse or your keyboard, your desktop might be weird, but or your graphics tablet. I think the most maybe confusing part would be the graphics card. I know that Blender has a more advanced support for NVIDIA cards. I think they get certain more support from them, so they create certain functions to make it more effective to use NVIDIA cards for Blender. But yeah, you can see if your 3D program detects your hardware. If you want to go back to Blender, there you go. You can go to, oh no, we actually have to stay in display capture. There you go. So if you go to edit, preferences, and then there's a section which is called, hold on, which one is it? Not in input. There's a system. You can see cycles render devices. There you should find your graphics card. Mine is the GeForce GTX 1066 GB. You can also find your processor here. Those are the two main hardware pieces that will be used for rendering and all that stuff. And if, for example, your graphics card is missing, then you should not find it here. Then I don't really know what you would do. That's probably like a very specific problem that I never had. What happens if I click on the question? What problems do we face here? Ah, your system does not use 3D hardware acceleration. Okay. So when you have hardware acceleration, for example, Blender not starting up can't detect 3D hardware accelerated. Yeah, hardware acceleration then. There's nothing to fix from our side. Okay, well, yeah, they should suggest to probably start running GPU Z to see if the GPU is installed, detected properly. So yeah, that's probably a very specific problem that not like a lot of people will have. But if you have that problem, maybe that helps you using the, or you go, Googling the same phrase will give you the same result. And then maybe you could click on here to get to what they refer to. Okay. Where to sell Blender 3D models? We've said it before, but maybe we can cover it real quick again. Where to sell Blender 3D models, there of course are multiple websites. You cannot do it in Blender itself, you have to use websites for it. The two main websites that I know of and that I've used before are Turbo Squid. Hold on. Turbo Squid. There you go. turbosquid.com. That's what I've used before. If you want to get like download files, you can go there, and you can also sell files or models. There you go, 3D models. You can open up cars, and yeah, you can upload your models there. You can set a price, and then if somebody buys it, to make money. If you want to see the other website that I have used before, it is Blender Market. It looks like this. And yeah, that's the other website that I know of where you can buy and sell models. Yeah, that's how you can sell models. Blender, where is 3D view? Oh yeah, I think maybe that could happen. So sometimes the interface in Blender can be quite confusing in the beginning because everything is very fluid. You can set up everything however you want it to look like. So if we go back to Blender, you can see this is my setup, this is my interface. This is not the standard. I, for example, added this text block here. I also added these two windows down here. You can see I can just open up or close them, and I can also change their size, and I can also join them so they're like a single window. So for example, if you for example switch the 3D view, which you can see right there, if you for example switch it to a different window, like this one for example, oh no, where's my 3D view? I only have this 2D view now. You don't know where your 3D view is. There's a very simple way to bring it back. For every one of these frames or windows in this interface, so we have a text block interface, window, you have these properties window, you have the shader window down here. For every one of these, you have at the top left this small icon which you can drop down or click on it, and you get this drop down menu. You have all the windows that exist in Blender. So you have the 3D viewport that you need. You also have like image editor, UV editor. We are right now in the image editor. So if you want to go back to the 3D viewport, you click on this small little icon and then click the 3D viewport, and there you go, your 3D viewport is back. You can also use hotkeys. That's what I started using recently. Hotkeys for at least my most important windows is F10 to see all the images that are in Blender. For example, if you want to see a finished render, you can go into this viewport, into this window, which is the hotkey Shift F10. You can switch between the image viewer and the UV viewer. You can see the icon changes if I hit the button. So now I hit it. Now we're in the UV viewer. Now we go back and we are in the image editor. You can click on this drop down button to see the different images that are open in Blender. So F10 is image viewer or UV viewer. If you want to go back to the 3D viewport, it is Shift and F5. This way you get back to the 3D viewport. Is there a second function? No. So if you want to go back to the 3D viewport, maybe you've hit like Shift F3 for example, or you've hit any Shift F whatever function. If you want to go back to the 3D viewport, either through this small little icon up here, the 3D viewport is the first one you can find here in the list, or by hitting Shift F5. There you go. Okay, oh, hold on. Let's go back to the questions. So, is Blender 3? Yep. Is Blender 3D easy to learn? Oh, that's a pretty open-ended question, or like subjective. But so when I started using Blender, everybody said like, okay, so when I started using Blender, they kind of explained it like in a graph, like the graph, like the difficulty in the beginning is very high, then it kind of takes off, like goes down. What I would describe it as is, what I like to describe it as is like this, you start like Blender is like this huge wall in front of you, like similar to Attack on Titan. You have you stand there and you look up and you see like the infinite wall that you have to climb to get further ahead into Blender, basically. That's how I describe it. But once you climb that wall, basically learning the basics is what I would call the wall. Once you know the basics, then you reach the top of the wall and you see this open-ended, like beautiful, like this beautiful environment with like huge trees on one side, like a huge like water pond or whatever with the like fairies or whatever, and you can decide where you want to go to. Once you reach that, once you climb that first like high wall, then you can really go and have some fun and with all the possibilities that open up to you. So yeah, that's how I would describe it. Is Blender 3D easy to learn? I would say it is easy to learn when you start with a tutorial. So yeah, so a tutorial will lead you or help you, guide you through climbing the wall so that you can then go into deeper projects on your own, for example. I wouldn't really suggest starting off on your own. I think that is very, very hard because you have to look through every single, there are so many functions, it would just take ages for you to really learn anything. So yeah, just look up a tutorial and maybe go through that. Is Blender 3D safe? Oh, so Blender 3D is safe. Yeah, there's no virus. I mean, I guess the safest way to get Blender, if you want to make sure that you get the right version, maybe there are websites that provide a download. The best way to make sure that you get the safe version of Blender, not some sort of virus infected version, is to go to, hold on, this is the website, but if you type in blender.org, O-R-G, not O-R-D, O-R-G, you'll find the original Blender website where you can then hit download Blender to get your perfectly clean Blender program. Is Blender 3D? It can be. Let's say that. So is Blender 3D? It is 3D. It is called Blender 3D sometimes. Yeah. So of course the main reason why Blender exists is to use or to model or to work in, I guess, fictional 3D space. So yeah, Blender is 3D mainly, but you can also, for example, adjust or like change images or draw on image. You can do the same. You can do that in Blender as well, but this is mainly used for yeah, for the 3D stuff, animations, simulations, modeling, all that stuff. That's what Blender is mainly used for. So I would say, yeah, Blender is 3D. How much does Blender cost? We already covered that. Nothing. Is Blender completely free? That is actually an interesting question. So, is Blender completely free? Blender is mainly free. Let's call it that. So, for example, the Blender program itself that will bring you far in your Blender career, I guess, or in what you want to do with Blender. The raw Blender will bring you very, very far. But then if you want to make your life a little bit easier, for example, you want to buy models, or you want to have add-ons that help you with 3D modeling, make it easier, for example. You want to have you want to buy an add-on that gives you a library of plans that you can add to your, I don't know, architecture rendering, for example. Then there's the option to buy add-ons as well, or models. So the program itself is completely free. You can pay money to donate to their development to help them develop the program, but if you want to use it for free, then yeah, that works. It is like the program itself is completely free, but if you want to go a little bit further, you can pay money to make it easier on yourself. Is Blender free? Yep, it is. Okay, we've covered the questions. Let's go to the next part, the prepositions. Blender 3D is free. Yep. Blender 3D, what is the 3D cursor? We already covered that. Where is 3D view? We already covered that as well. Is Blender easy to learn? Yep. I mean, depends, but yeah. Is Blender 3D safe? Yep. Is Blender 3D? Yep. How much does Blender 3D cost? Nothing. Is Blender completely free? Yep. Oh, we have a new section here for Blender 3D for Mac. So, of course, Mac is the Apple desktop version, or a desktop PC from Apple. I actually use a Mac on at work, and I try to kind of sneak in a few 3D projects here and there. I work in a advertisement agency, so they don't really focus on 3D projects because I'm the only one that really knows 3D and knows how to work in it. But I use a Mac, and yeah, there is a Blender version for Mac. It is a little bit different, I think, because a Mac has a different graphics card, so you don't have the NVIDIA supported settings, for example. You usually, of course, you can switch it, but the Mac itself has a Magic Mouse, which works a little bit different in the 3D viewport, but overall, it is basically the same project. I mean, the same software. So Blender 3D for Mac exists. Blender 3D for iPad. Oh, so Blender 3D, as far as I know, I've looked it up just recently. Blender 3D doesn't exist for the iPad. As far as they explained it, they have enough time, or they have just enough time to develop Blender for all the PC versions for Mac, Linux, and PC, Windows. So to bring the same program into like an iPad version as well would mean that they would have to rewrite everything and kind of create its own version for the iPad, which would just be too much for them. So Blender 3D does not exist for the iPad. Blender 3D for 3D printing, well, we already covered that. Blender 3D for beginners. Oh, okay, hold on. So I talked about before, Blender 3D for beginners. How would you begin Blender? We talked about that before, how you can learn the fastest way, how you could, what would be my suggestions, how to learn Blender. Blender 3D for beginners, what tips I could give you, maybe like channels that you could look up that could help you with 3D stuff. Of course, the first one I would suggest to you would be myself. If you ever have any questions with Blender, you struggle with something, you have a problem, or you just want to maybe, I don't know, follow my projects, whether that is like a long-term project or a one stream, like a short-term project, you can always check out my stream, ask any questions in the chat. Check out my videos on this channel. I also have a video channel where I actually uploaded 2 beginner videos that go through, or that is like a full walkthrough, going from how to download Blender, how to open or install it, how to work with the interface, and then how to create your first project. So I have 2 videos of that for pure beginners, basically, that roughly go like an hour and a half. Basically, what you do in these 2 videos is you first of all get used to all the settings, you get used to the basic movement and all that, and then I've prepared a file that we will create together, like a scene. The first scene for the first video is a house with a tree next to it, and that is sitting on a small island. We will not only model the house, but also like colors and light it and create the final shot. And then if you want to go even deeper, I've created a second video that is linked in the first video that kind of expands on the final version of the first video to kind of give you some inspiration on if you want to do more in Blender. You say, oh well, that was kind of fun working in Blender, like with following this tutorial. I want to do more, and then I have this time lapse of me adding more to the scene that should give you, or that might give you like inspiration to add the same, or like kind of recreate what I've done, or just give you inspiration and maybe help on how I would model different models and add them to the scene. The second video is about adding a spaceship in space with a planet in the background. If you want to go with other channels that I use, or that I've used in my time using Blender, the first one would be Blender Guru. It's probably the most used Blender tutorial ever. The donut that gets you through, I guess, the process of creating a donut in Blender. That he teaches you about all the settings as well, like basically the same that my video has. My videos have about the interface, like learning the program, and then you create a donut at the end with like sprinkles on it, and you render it, and you create materials and coloring for it, all that stuff. That is Blender Guru. There are also a few more that I watch sometimes, or that I know of. The first one would be Ducky3D. He does like smaller tutorials, like small projects, I guess, or how he would create a certain project, like how to create a abstract animation or an abstract animation loop, or how to create a certain material, how to optimize your scene for Blender Eevee, for example. Eevee is another render engine. Another two, actually, like one person, one content creator, one YouTuber has two channels. One of them is Default Cube. The other one is, what is the other one? I can't remember. So the first one is CG Matter. Yeah. Default Cube is the first one, and then CG Matter is from the same person. He creates on one of them more long-term explanation videos, on the other one more short-term explanation videos. For example, how to create this leather shader in 10 minutes or so. Yeah, that's another one that I sometimes watch, or that I have learned from. There's also Curtis Holt, Curatas Holt. Yeah. He does like a more like explanation videos about certain topics or stuff that he just recently learned about. Like, oh well, here there's this new way of creating clouds, or oh, there's this new function, there's this new add-on that could be helpful for you. He explains it and yeah, shows you, demonstrates stuff for you. Those are basically the few that I have learned from or that I've watched, but there are of course way more. I think there's also CG Boost, and there are more. I can't list them all. I don't remember all of them, but yeah, maybe they can help you and guide you through your 3D journey as a beginner. Okay, hold on. I want to actually see if I can fix my OBS real quick. Okay. Let's go back to display capture. So Blender 3D for architecture. Okay. So I actually have a friend that works in architecture design, I think, or technical. He's a technical architect, I think. He does like architectural rendering and planning and all that stuff. He said that he uses SketchUp, but he said that it's also not very advanced. So you could definitely use Blender 3D for architecture. One of my actually first projects was actually like an architectural design, where I basically recreated a real life photo in Blender. Yeah, you can use Blender 3D for architecture. There are a few add-ons that help you with your modeling. For example, they give you ready to go plot plans that you can like bring into your scene. You could then of course use either Cycles or Eevee to render your scene. Yeah, you can use Blender 3D for architecture. You can look into that, how you would start. I think, I don't know what the main program is for architectural like renders, but yeah, maybe you could learn with Blender, because it is free, how to do architectural design, and then maybe you use the main program in your like at work that you use there. You can transition the skill over to there. Blender 3D. Hold on. Excuse me. Blender 3D for Android. So it's the same problem we had for the iPad. The Blender development team only has so much time because they're only so big. So to create an iPad or like a mobile version would basically mean they would have to create a second version of the same program that would have to be, of course, supported all the time when there's a new update, which would just take up too much of their time. So they decided to not support Android or any mobile devices like an iPad as well in their development. So there's no version of Blender 3D for Android. Blender 3D for Chromebook. I actually don't know if that works. Is Chromebook a mobile device basically with apps like on it, or do you does it work similar to a like a phone? Hold on. Blender 3D Chromebook. Okay, apparently it works. 3 ways to install Blender 3D on your Chromebook. So yeah, apparently there is Blender 3D for your Chromebook. So if you desire to have it on there, you can do that. Blender 3D for interior design. That is probably a very similar question than the previous one, Blender 3D for architecture. Yeah, you can use Blender 3D for interior design, whether that is just to train, so you can basically like train your very basic skills, not the program specific skills, but rather like the basic design principle, for example. You can do that in Blender. As long as you have your 3D space where you can work in, I guess you can learn or create interior designs. So yeah, you can use Blender for interior design. Can Blender do 3D printing? We already had that. What can Blender 3D do? We already had that as well. Can Blender 3D print? Well, okay, hold on. Can Blender be used for 3D printing? Okay, Blender without 3D. Okay. Blender, there's a section of Blender that is not 3D. You might ask, what is that? So of course Blender is mainly a 3D program, but there are certain tools that don't use the 3D space to work. So that would mean stuff like an image editor. You can import images and then do some post-processing in Blender, like adding lens flare or adding stuff like glare to your file, or like, what is it, chromatic aberration, lens distortion. You can do that as Blender as well. You can also edit your videos, as far as I know. You can composite your videos. That's all you can that's all you can do in Blender that is not in 3D. I think you can also do stop motion animation in Blender, but I don't know if you use the 3D viewport to do that. That's something I don't know. Blender 3D mouse. So I mean, we could probably go a little bit personal. I use a mouse for Blender. I think it's probably easier to use a mouse. The more buttons you have, the easier it is to use Blender, because then you have more buttons to apply hotkeys to. I use a mouse for Blender, not only for interacting with the interface, but also to move in the 3D viewport. If you don't have a mouse, I guess you could use, of course, like the touch motion to move in Blender. I would guess it would be like using two fingers to move in the 3D viewport, using one to rotate, and then using, I don't know, like making the scale, the double swipe movement for like zooming in. But it's definitely easier to use a mouse because you can work much faster. I use just sort of like a regular mouse with two mouse buttons, L1 and R1. I then have my mouse wheel. I have 2 thumb buttons, and I can also apply, or I also have 2 buttons, which I don't really use in Blender, which are activated by moving my mouse wheel either to the left or to the right. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 keys, from which I only use 2. So you can use just a basic 3D or just a basic mouse to use, or like to perfectly use Blender. If you want to model a mouse in Blender 3D, I guess you could look that up, like a tutorial. That would probably be hard surface modeling. You could also do it with sculpting, for example, but I think hard surface sculpting is the better option for this sort of object. Blender 3D to 2D. Okay. I mean, for that question, you could probably describe how you would turn a 3D object into a 2D image, for example. Of course, you cannot okay, so there are different ways how you can import what you see in the 3D viewport into a 2D file or 2D object. First of all, of course, if you have an object, like for example me, I would be a model, or like this ball. Hold on, what do I have here? Like, okay, so you have this dude standing there in your 3D viewport, and you want to create an image out of him. What you can do is you can place your camera where you are the camera. So that's what you would see in the viewport. Like, you can rotate him however you want. You can then say render, and which means it makes a shot of what you see right now. So this would be what you would render, and the rendered image would be a 2D image. That's how you could export an image. How you can convert a 3D object into a 2D object. What is also possible is that you have textures on your model, like for example a I don't know, you apply an image. No, that's kind of weird. You use textures in Blender to create a custom texture in Blender. Like you create stones, and they have like small little damage scratches on them. If you want to export that texture from Blender, from the surface, you want to rip it off the surface and create a texture out of it, like a 2D texture, you can do that as well by baking it. Or you can also grab an image and import it into Blender so that you can use that image as a texture on your 3D model. Blender 3D for Mac, we already had that. For Android, Blender 3D by example. What? What does that mean? I mean, Blender 3D by example, I could give you an example of what you could do in Blender 3D. We could take it that way. So what I've done recently, so that's what we've done today, actually. This is the image that we've created today in 30 minutes. It's just like a quick sketch that we do every day, in the beginning of every stream, and then I do them off stream as well every day. But I actually created like a benchmark project. What I plan on doing is doing a benchmark project every year, so that I can test the maximum skill that I can put on, that I can, exert. How, like, the benchmark project is basically the maximum end product that you can create. I've created a benchmark project last year, so I decided to create another one. Not only because it was like a submission for a competition, but also just to test my skills and see how far I can push it. So I created the MSI Creator Award submission, which you can see in here. We have a few shots right there. The final version looks like this. Okay, it takes a while to load, but that's the end result. That is an example on what you can do in Blender. You can apply these textures, you can create these materials, and you can, that's everything that I've done here is I have created in Blender. Yeah, so that is an example of what you can do in Blender. That's how I will interpret this question. Blender 2D to 2D, Blender 2D to 3D to 2D sprite. That's interesting. I wonder what that means. To 2D sprite. I don't really know what a 2D sprite is. Let's see. 2D sprite. Probably not the... okay, so the sprite is basically like for like 2D animations that you can use to animate characters for games, for example. Yeah, I mean, if you want to create 2D sprites out of 3D characters, what you would do is you would set up your camera so that you can see the the model from head on or from the side, whatever, how your 2D view should look like. And then you would model, or you would use, or usually a rig character to like pose it however you want it. If you want to make like a running animation, you would, for example, create a running animation. You would animate him running, and you would then render every single frame out as an image, which you can then use to use them for the sprite. So if you want to make an animation, what usually happens is you can render it either as a MP4 file, or what I do is you can render it as single images, which you can then like combine again to convert it into a MP4 file. If you render the animation as individual images, then you can use these images for your 2D sprites. Same for Blender 3D to 2D animation. Blender 3D to 2D drawing. So if I read that Blender 3D to 2D drawing, what I get reminded of is, first of all, there is that only works in Eevee as far as I know. In Eevee, that is a more, I guess, game-like render engine. It is not fully realistic. It is more like a game engine than a full render engine like Cycles. In Eevee, you have different shaders that you can use. You can set up the lighting, or like how the material or how the object responds to light hitting it. You can have different properties that you can set. There is a shader that you can set up that makes every object look like it has been sketched. It's just like a sketch. So that's how you could create a 2D drawing out of a 3D model, just applying that shader. You can also, I mean, if you want to use, you could, for example, for concepting, you can just build your scene in 3D first, then you can make a shot out of that scene so that you can then put that into Photoshop, and then you can draw on top of that scene, which you can, on top of that image, which means you can use the 3D modeling, or like your 3D model as like reference, for example, to make it easier for you to draw perspective, for example, if it's like a super complex scene. That's how you can also use Blender to use your 3D models in 2D images. Blender 3D to pixel art. I've never created pixel art, but I don't know if that, so I don't know how you create pixel art, but I would say you can only use your 3D model as reference for your pixel art. You can't really convert it. I don't know if there's a program that just grabs an image. For example, you could use a render of your dude, for example. You could then feed it into that program that then converts it into a certain resolution, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that works. Other than that, I don't think so. You can definitely not create pixel art in Blender, as far as I know, so at least. And Blender 3D to pixel art, yeah, it's probably only either you can use it as reference, or maybe there are programs that can convert your render into a pixel art. Blender 3D to grease pencil. So the grease pencil is is a pencil that works in 3D. Basically, if you go into Blender, there is a tool that is called the grease pencil. The grease pencil works like VR drawing, meaning you have your brush and then you can draw in 3D space. Usually you can have different settings on how you would apply that grease pencil to the 3D viewport. In VR, of course, you have like movement in all directions, but in Blender, when you use your mouse, you can't go deeper into it. So you only have like a flat plane where you can draw on. You can only rotate your view to go like in another direction. But yeah, the grease pencil is used to create stop motion animations, for example, in 3D in Blender, or also just 2D stop motion animations. Yeah, that's what the grease pencil is used for. I haven't really used it myself as much, but I've definitely seen some very, very cool results on social media. Blender 3D to 2D projection. So what I would think what that might mean is there's a function where you can unwrap your models. Unwrapping means if you want to apply a texture to your model, you have to define how that texture will be applied to that model. So you split, you tell Blender how it should unwrap the geometry so that it is a 2D image, basically. If you have like a ball and you say, okay, the unwrap seam is right here, like right around there. If I have like this ball right there, it would unwrap it like this. And now you have two sides. Now it's 2D, and that's how it how unwrapping works. there's a function in there which means project from view. What that is basically it just takes what you see with all the perspective and all that is of course made from your view, and it just projects that into the 2D viewport. So if you would have my hand like this, that's basically how the geometry will be put into the into the UV grid in the 2D, I guess, space. Blender 3D to After Effects. You can use Blender files in After Effects, but of course you have to convert them into OBJ first, and then you can import them into After Effects. I haven't done that before myself, but I've definitely seen tutorials where they, for example, created a scene. I think it was in Video Copilot, where they created this dude jumping off a building and then landing on the ground and like crushing the ground. And then at the top of the building, they shot him on a green screen so they can put him in a 3D scene, which they exported out of a 3D program and imported into After Effects. So it's definitely possible. And most likely you need to convert your object, or you have to convert your object or export your object as an OBJ or a similar interchange files. So files that you can import into any 3D support or into any program that supports 3D files. You export it, for example, as an OBJ, and then you can import it into After Effects. Comparisons. Okay, we're going to do the comparisons, and then we have the alphabet. We're going to do the comparisons, and I think then we're gonna be done. I think we've covered quite a few questions here. Okay, there are probably going to be a lot of duplicates, but maybe there are a few more, I guess, ideas or questions that we could answer. Blender 3D for Mac. We already covered that. Blender 3D exists for Mac, and it's almost the same than the Windows version. Blender 3D for iPad doesn't exist. Blender 3D for 3D printing. We had that before. Blender 3D for beginners. Blender 3D for architecture. Blender 3D for Android, Chromebook, interior design. Blender 3D and After Effects. Blender 3D and Unity. So Blender 3D, of course, being a 3D modeling program, and Unity being a game engine. They work together by Blender 3D providing Unity with models or custom models. Of course, there are like basic models already in Unity, but if you, for example, want to create your own character, like you want to turn me into a character in a game, you could, for example, photo scan me and then prepare me in Blender, rig me, for example, and create like the final model in Blender, and then you would import it into Unity. The way that I never really done it myself, but the way I would, I guess how it works is that you import or export your Blender file as an OBJ, for example, and then you can import it into into Unity, and then you can work with it. You're probably not going to use OBJ in that case, because I don't think OBJ supports stuff like it doesn't copy the rig, but overall, yeah. That's how you would work in with the two programs. Blender 3D versus Cinema 4D. Okay, so of course I have never used Cinema 4D, but I've seen a lot of videos about it, and of course results. Cinema 4D seems like all the renders look very, very cinematic. That's probably where the name comes from. But so Cinema 4D is very, very useful to create very, very, very stunning imagery. Of course, you can do the same in Blender as well. I guess the best, if you want to like compare the two, Blender is free. So if you want to just delve into 3D, you would probably start with Blender. If you want to, of course, pay money right away, I think you have to pay money every month. You could also pay for Cinema 4D. But if you want to just learn 3D as a beginner, Blender would probably be a better option. Blender already also has all I think it has everything that you need for a full 3D workflow, and no matter what you go into. That doesn't mean that everything is like perfect. Some parts like UV unwrapping or UV painting, for example, could definitely use some more work, but overall it has everything. But of course, it's not perfect in everything. So if you just want to learn about 3D, Blender would probably be the better option. If you want to create stunning imagery, maybe Cinema 4D is more to your liking. Blender 3D versus 3ds Max. I've never really used or never really seen 3ds Max, so I don't really know that much about it. I could just say Blender 3D is free. If you want to learn more about 3D and don't want to pay money, then Blender is your program. Then you have another versus section. Let's see, we have different programs: Maya, Cinema 4D, 3ds Max, SketchUp, Fusion 360, Zbrush. Oh, I can talk a little bit about Zbrush. So Blender versus Zbrush, if you want to compare the two programs. So Zbrush is mainly used for sculpting. So Blender can also sculpt. Sculpting in 3D basically means you would start with a certain base mesh, for example, like a ball, and then you could use your digital sculpting tools like a scrape tool, a clay buildup tool to add more clay to the base mesh, so that you can basically work with this digital 3D clay to create, for example, characters, mostly organic objects, because that is just easier to do with sculpting and is very, very intuitive to work with. If you want to, for example, create characters, you can either use Blender or Zbrush and use the sculpting functions or the sculpting tools. But there's a big difference between Blender 3D and Zbrush. Zbrush is only used for sculpting, meaning Zbrush is optimized for sculpting. That is what we mentioned before. Blender 3D has not only sculpting, but everything basically that you need for 3D, which means they are not perfect in everything. They have flaws, or they're just like not as good as other programs that specialize in a certain field, like Zbrush. Zbrush focuses fully on sculpting, which means Zbrush, for example, is more optimized when it comes to the density of a object. You can add way more detail, way more smoothly to an object, like you sculpt. You can add pores in ZBrush very easily, very detailed, very intricate stuff. You have all these different tools. It is just, everything is optimized for you to have the best sculpting experience possible. I heard it crashes quite a few times, or quite a lot, but overall it is probably the best program for you to use if you want to go into sculpting, like full-on sculpting and you don't really care about, I don't know, texturing, for example. Oh, hello, Alexis. Oh, hello, welcome back. I remember, usually I'm pretty bad at remembering names, but yours is actually quite rememberable, just because I remember talking about the name. It was Poineau, right? Or similar to that. Yeah. We're covering questions that you might have about Blender, or the most searched questions in Blender right now. If you have any questions, you can always ask them. We're not only gonna go over these ones. If you have one that you want to ask yourself, feel free. So yeah, if you want to go into it's just, I'm not good at pronouncing anything, especially names. Blender 3D versus ZBrush. So yeah, if you want to go full on into sculpting and you want to go so much deeper and add like details, you want to go have a very smooth experience, then ZBrush might be the better option if you want to pay money for it. I think there's also a test version for 30 days, and then there's a kind of slimmer version with like less functions that is, I think, is cheaper or even free, that you could use. If you want to have like a more holistic experience, so you want to not only sculpt your character, you want to also give them textures, or you want to light them, you want a good environment around the character, then Blender might be the better program for it. Blender 3D versus FreeCAD, never heard of it. Blender 3D versus SolidWorks, never heard of it. I think those ones are more specific programs that like focus on a specific part of the 3D workflow or the 3D field. I've never heard of them before. I think I heard of SolidWorks before, but I think SolidWorks is used for 3D printing. But I don't know if that's like 100% true. 3D Blender like. Okay, that's I think that's, I don't know what I'm supposed to get from that. How to use 3D Blender? I mean, to sum it up, you install it, you download it, you install it, you open up Blender, you set up your interface, you learn the interface, you move in the 3D viewport, you add and affect or change the models that you've added. Then you set up your camera, you set up the lighting, you render your finished model, and then you have your 2D image of that model. That is the I guess the whole workflow, the very, very basic workflow. How to use Blender 3D for beginners? We talked about that. Is Blender 3D easy to learn? We already talked about that as well. Oh wait, okay, perfect. That's everything. How many questions were there? Probably like definitely over 50. I don't know how many though. But yeah, that's everything. We could also go through the alphabet, but I think these things we can cover better by doing projects with them. So for example, tomorrow we'll go into Blender 3D animation. For the first point we have here, that's actually what we're going to do. Tomorrow we will grab my my Roberto, my human male base mesh, which is rigged. We will create a 3D animation, or we will start to create the 3D animation that I will then use to, I guess, first of all, learn and talk a little bit more about animations and how I work, how I create animations, maybe a few basics about how you would set up animations, and also overall for me to learn about it and you to learn about it. And because I want to make an animation to kind of, I guess, create a video promoting my 3D, or like my Roberto human mesh rigged character model, because I want to, I guess, create a download link for it so everybody can use it. I want to set it up for free so everybody can just grab it from wherever I'm going to upload it, probably Google Drive. Yeah, so we're going to make a sort of long-term, rather medium-term, mid-term project. We're going to start that tomorrow, where we grab Roberto, we create a small little scene, which we will then use and create a small animation. And the good part is I like to combine multiple plans that I have into one, which means the animation that we're going to do tomorrow will actually have an effect on the quick sketches. So of course, every day we do quick sketches, and the last few already always had the theme of environments, creating environments, sometimes with Roberto, sometimes without. But I've for a long time been only focusing on composition and values, basically the depth of an image, very dark parts in an image and then very bright parts. If you wanna, and I basically just left out the whole color part, because then in 30 minutes I just have more time to focus on composition and values. But now I want to decide to add in colors again, which means we're going to make a small animation to introduce color back into the quick sketches. So that's what we're going to do for this animation. We're going to start tomorrow and we'll see how far we get. We're probably going to need a few streams to finish the animation. But we're going to, I guess, cover a few topics in these streams and just make a small project out of it. That's what we're going to do tomorrow. I think I'm going to actually call it here just because that was the topic that I wanted to cover today. I think, how long have we been doing this now? 2 hours? Okay. 2 hours of answering questions, I think is pretty good. Or almost 2 hours. 1.5 probably. Yeah. If you want to join me tomorrow for the 3D animation, you can do that. You can also go to like my videos that I've just recently uploaded. I'm also gonna put it into the first video that you're going to see when you go to my channel, the highlighted video or whatever. I uploaded a schedule. I'm gonna upload, if I have one planned for the week, I'm gonna upload a schedule, week schedule video where I show what I have planned for the week. So this week, we have on Monday, what have we done on Monday? I can't remember. Let me pull up my, let me pull up the video. So we have the, hold on, where are we? Oh, there you go. We have to go to videos. Oh yeah. So we have done the likeness. So that this is the schedule. You can see right here. Small little schedule. You have the screen schedule. Monday we've done the likeness. Yeah, today we've done a little bit of learning, answering the most Googled questions about Blender. Tomorrow we'll start a shorter sort of long-term project, creating a promo animation for my human character rig. And then on Thursday, we will compare the last benchmark project that we've just finished, the MSI Creator Award, with my last year's benchmark project, to just kind of reflect on it. And I can kind of show how I basically learn from my old projects, how you can reflect on your projects. That's what we're going to cover on Thursday. Yeah, if you're interested in that, you can join. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, I'll see you then. Ooh, Tunnel of Infinity. Take care.